He trying to grab some tildes. He trying to grab some brills. Maybe some balls. I don't want to do this. I don't give a fuck. Alright. Dick nipples. Wow me.
Yep. Yep.
Live. All right, folks, that's enough of the dog chat. It's time. Welcome to the show, everybody. Hasan Piker.
Hello, Hasan Piker.
What's going on?
Well, I'm doing a debate. What about you?
That's what I'm doing as well. All right. Wait, hold on. Oh, are you going to show me all the time as well on the Zoom?
Wow.
Oh,
wow.
Here, I can fix that. 1 second. Let me just set it to Ethan's
Yeah.
output here.
If you want,
there you go.
if you want, just show like not just Ethan, but yourself as well. If you're going to talk, like that's fine.
Hey,
I don't know if it's gonna
Hasan,
be too difficult.
leave the production notes to my team. You can
Well, I
switch
mean-
your show how you like.
Well, you know, they were my coworkers as well, Ethan.
Well, it's been a
for
while,
years.
my
guess
friends,
they
and
were.
guess
Yeah, I
what?
know.
They are not now.
No, I know.
So let's start. I mean, so you did this content cup, right? And I mean,
Yo.
did that go how you expected? It didn't seem to hit
Wait,
very
but
hard.
Before we get started, can I lay some like ground rules
Oh,
so we can
boy.
have like a productive
Okay,
conversation?
sure.
How's
Yeah.
that dog
Okay,
laying on a
so-
treadmill?
I wanted to come on to make
The fucking caught Hasan makes. Fuck it.
this as issue specific as possible. But yes, you have grievances with me, and
Okay.
of course, I think they're valid to address.
Okay,
Of
good.
course, we'll talk about that. Hopefully, I'll be able to address some counterpoints as well, if
Sure.
you will allow me
Of
in
course.
that process.
Absolutely.
But before we get started on anything, I would like to potentially.
Why does anytime Hasan tries to, like, from what I've seen, which honestly isn't too much, anytime he tries to explain something like this to someone, it's so long and drawn out. It's like when you watch, like a dubbed movie and the mouth is still moving, but they said like 5 words. That's Hasan.
Talk about definitions so we can have like an
It's quite
established
frustrating.
definition on a lot of the things that we're going to be talking about. Is that okay with
Go
you?
on.
I mean, it depends how many definitions you got. What do you want to define? I don't want to get bogged down in this. So
Relationship.
I'm also experiencing audio issues on my end, so
Sure.
hold on
Go
one
ahead.
second.
Sure
No
it
worries.
is.
no worries.
Okay. All right, so you're fine with that.
I mean, I'll do up to a point. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like
I don't want to get
it's
bogged
basic
down in a
stuff.
conversation.
It's not like a gotcha.
Go ahead,
I'm
start.
not-
Start. No, I know you're not. I
Okay,
just want to get
so-
going.
All right. So first and foremost, I think
I don't really care for either of these people. I used to watch Ethan many years ago, but I don't care for either of them. I did watch the content go up. I saw. Well, I watched the content. Wait, no, I watched it. I watched the content go up. It was fucking stupid. And then I watched the Ethan thing on Hasan, but I watched it through Asmongold, so whatever.
we should define what Zionism is and what you mean by Zionism and what I mean by Zionism. so you
Zionism
understand where I'm
is
coming from.
the belief that Jews should have their own homeland in the historic Palestine area.
Mhm.
That's it.
Okay. All right. So I believe that Zionism is a religious ethno-supremacist ideology that that revolves around the exterminationist policies of removing the indigenous population that lived in, as you said, historic Palestine, as long as they are not Jews, because it's a religion.
Zionism, a movement for originally the reestablishment and now the development and protection of a Jewish nation is what is now Israel. So it's a Jewish nationalist movement by definition. So I guess, yeah, sure, open to interpretations. I don't know. Gives a fuck.
Religious, ethno-religious supremacist
Go on.
ideology. I think that this is a disagreement that you and I have.
No, I agree with
on this
you.
front.
I agree with you. If you want to add that, like the genesis of Zionism
boy.
included, you know, the displacement and you know,
His
the ravaging
dick's
of,
gonna get worse,
of the
like,
culture
as he
that
goes
existed
on,
there,
or if he
then,
gets
then I would
angry. And I
agree
don't
with you.
mean
I
that in a
I don't think that
shitty
the
way.
establishment
I'm
of
just
Israel was
wondering,
like a
if he
good
starts
thing.
to get angry,
I
is
mean,
that
it
gonna
was
trigger him to
tragic
go
and a lot
off
of bad
more?
things happened. But let me ask you, sir.
Okay.
How was filming that content?
Is that a
I just
fly?
have to know what you felt, what
What-
you were thinking as they were doing the
No,
Fortnite. How was filming that content? I just have to know what. Sir.
Okay.
How was
Ah, there it is. There be a fly in the ointment, boys.
filming that content? I just have to know what you felt, what you were thinking as they were doing the
No,
Fortnite L behind you.
we'll get to that. We'll
Why
get
does
to
this
that.
matter?
We're
Comments.
here. I don't want to talk about
Okay.
definitions. You got your Zionism, and let's
I
do
think. Okay. Oh, okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I
a
don't
question
know.
to
I mean,
answer,
it was
I
fine.
suppose.
Did
I've
you- did you
participated
not-
in-
you didn't.
I've participated in other YouTube videos as well in the
No,
past.
but that
you know?
Fortnite
Some of
L
them-
dancing.
Some of them feature sketches.
Okay.
I noticed
Okay.
you weren't in the other shots. Why was that?
I think I was being interviewed
Oh, really?
by
Who was
the
interviewing you?
journalist while that was happening.
Really?
I can't. I don't remember.
Really?
Well,
that's
that's convenient.
I think you were embarrassed.
Oh,
You were absent from every other shot. I think you saw
Wait,
him
why
doing
would
that.
I be-
I think you saw him doing that Fortnite dance, and you said, "I got to get out of this." And by the way,
No, I
I'm
don't
giving you
care.
credit for that.
I fail to see what that really matters. I mean, it's an easy, you just answer the question, but like, who cares?
I mean, Ethan, you're a comedian. You know, you participated in some sketches. You know,
Nothing
it
that
happens.
I mean, shit. Yeah.
Really, you're one of your most famous sketches. You in a fucking
Niche.
diaper. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah,
Oh.
Well, I mean-
we've done funny things.
Okay, you know what? Let's not
goofing
debate
out.
the merit
that
of
fly.
our comedy. You're right. I'm very hacky, and so are you.
Okay,
By
so-
the way, you believe
yeah,
that the
that's
likes
fine.
were botted on that.
What?
You had said you thought the
Dislikes?
likes were botted on the content.
He
cop.
has to
You
mean
still believe that?
dislike, surely. Dislike.
What? The likes were botted on the content cop?
The
I don't- I have
dislikes
no
were
idea.
botted. The dislikes, sorry. Yeah, you said it was brigaded and was botted. And it was unnatural. The dislikes on the video.
I don't really care about this. I don't know. I mean,
Well,
I
I'm
don't
asking.
I
I
don't
don't care
recall
if you-
saying this, but I don't know why
You
this is
did
a
say
major
it.
point of contention. All right, so you
No,
asked
no,
that
no, no,
question.
no, no,
Let's
no,
get back
no.
to some other definitions.
Hold on. Let me finish,
Jesus
and then you can do your
Christ.
definition.
Okay.
Did you think it
Well,
was?
it's not my definition. I want to hear your definition.
That's fine. I'll answer how you like. Do you?
I hope you know that, like, you know, I don't know if you know this, but I didn't publish the content cop. iDubbbz did.
Yes, I know that, and
That doesn't mean you don't, he can't ask you questions about it because you were obviously in it. So he can ask you questions. Not that you have to answer, but, you know, it's a fair question, I suppose.
I've addressed
Okay,
him
good.
thoroughly.
All right.
Do you know that? Do you believe he should have included the context of the CPS call?
Yeah,
What?
What?
yes.
You don't know what I'm talking about?
Wait. I'm a little confused.
Second.
You were
Hold
asking me.
on.
You don't know what I'm talking? Context of the CPS call?
What?
What? You don't know what I'm talking about?
Wait. I'm a little confused. You are asking me
Yes.
Boy,
what
he's
my
gonna
opinion
deflect.
is
On the video.
iDubbbz's content cop.
Correct.
Why?
That's correct.
About the CPS. I don't know. Maybe. Sure. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, I think it was more so about like your
It's saying yes, yes, yeah.
your year-long conquest of deplatforming and also
Right. Well,
harassing,
90% of the clips were
quite
from the
frankly, harassing a
episode
bunch of
entitled
pro-Palestine
CPS
content
Came to My
creators.
House, Hasan. I don't know
Loud
if you think that's
noises.
an important detail. I sure do.
Ethan, I think you know my position on this, as I made it very clear. I think it's completely inappropriate to fucking call
No.
CPS.
That's obvious.
I think it's
I'm
completely
saying
inappropriate
your
to call
friend
CPS
Hasan
on
you
a
made a
content
video
creator you don't
with
like.
did
I
a
don't know
total
why you're-
fucking
I don't know
hit
why you
job.
think I have
All right, go
any
ahead.
hand
Ask me a
in this.
question.
I don't have any like.
Go
dude,
ahead.
Listen.
Go
listen,
ahead.
Listen to me. Listen.
Jesus
We're both
Christ.
content creators online. We both have received an endless wave of harassment. You and I have talked privately about this.
Hassan, I don't
when
care.
we
Let's
were-
just go
when we
on.
had a
You, I
podcast.
don't.
No,
I,
what do you mean? You
I
brought this
don't-
up. You brought it up. Hold on.
I
let
know
me
what
say
you're
my piece.
saying. We've all
You
been
brought it up.
harassed. The internet
Let
is
me bring-
tough.
let
Whatever,
me say
yada
my
yada.
piece.
Ask me a question.
No. Please, Ethan, please.
Because you're so
Please.
boring, bro. I just want to have an interesting conversation.
Who
Go
else
ahead.
also told me that? Andrew Tate. Please, just hold on.
Wow,
and
I
let
have.
me
Wow,
try
God
to
forbid.
explain my position to you. You and I are both content creators.
Hasan and Andrew Tate are the same, confirmed.
We get an endless wave of harassment, doxing, swatting, all of this stuff, okay? Sometimes by the same people, ironically enough, by the same communities. You and I know we've had
It's your own fucking toxic communities, both of you. Both are toxic. Most communities appear politically are toxic against the other. Ooh, what we're seeing here is Viva la Revolution. We have left on left violence. Now they're not arguing with the conservatives, it's the liberals that are fighting against each other. Ooh, Hasan and Ethan, what are you doing? Not that I give a shit.
these conversations in private
been a while.
before we stop doing our podcast. And you know my position on this. I think it's completely
Hold up, is he wearing shoulder pads? Like, make his shoulders look bigger? Why is he so...
acceptable
you're
because
against
I am victim to the
CPS.
same
That's
exact
not
things that
even
happen to you
interesting.
in this regard. I would never in a million years
Okay,
advocate
ask
for
me a
that sort of
question.
thing and don't think it's appropriate.
Very
And
good.
I don't
Ask
know
me a
why
question.
you think that I have anything to do
What's
with
going
Because
on
you're
with
not
this background?
you're misrepresenting what I asked
A
you.
lot
I didn't
going
ask you,
on.
do you think it's okay that people called CPS? I asked that the video that you participated in, which was a total fucking hit job that used 90% of its clip from an episode of the podcast called
My boy, Bob Filter. That is the screenshot.
CPS got called on me and didn't even include the title of the podcast. Now, do you think that's fair?
I think you should take this up with iDubbbz instead of me.
Okay,
I
sure.
didn't
Ask me
make
a
any
question.
Editorial.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't make any of the editorial decisions in
I'm try-
iDubbbz's content cop.
I'm asking what you thought about it, okay? Not if you made it. It's pretty fucking... pretty obvious. Go ahead, ask me a question.
I'm sure it would have been.
Holy shit.
I'm sure that he I'm sure
He's
that it would have
wearing
been all right
shoulder
if he
pads.
mentioned it.
It would have been
I
all
don't-
right.
I don't know
Surely,
why this is
no.
a major point of contention for you. I thought we were going to talk about Israel Palestine.
We're talking about whatever we want
How many times is this song gonna say point of contention?
to talk about. You had said that I
Yeah.
have problems with your character. That's what I'm talking about. Go ahead, ask
I
me
know,
a question.
but you having problems with my character.
Hassan, ask me a
is
question or I'm
so
going to move
far
on to the next
removed from
topic
you
here.
asking me about iDubbbz's editorial decisions in his content cop.
I'm
I don't-
asking about your opinion on it. Go ahead, ask me a question.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
So-
Finally.
Do you believe
Maybe.
that Israel is committing a genocide in Gaza?
Yes.
Ooh,
Okay, great. Awesome. So you agree with
I don't
the
think he expected him to say that.
numerous human rights organizations, the UN?
I already said yes.
Okay, great. No, that's important. Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Thumbs
I
up,
also agree on
friend.
this.
No shit. That's
You
why you
believe that
asked.
Israel
Because you
is
expected him to
committing a
say no.
genocide in Gaza. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Do you feel like you have used your limited amount of time that you have as a content creator speaking out against Israel doing a genocide on the Palestinian population living in the Gaza Strip, or do you feel like most of your commentary on that issue has overwhelmingly
I think I know what I'm
been
doing
to
wrong.
rail
I don't have my
against
mouse
people
right up against
that
my
are
microphone
doing
at
that?
all fucking
Sure.
times.
Palestinian
Well,
advocates that
I
you
don't know
feel
if-
like you've been wronged by, myself included.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this, but if you're pro-Palestine, it doesn't absolve you of criticism. That's something that you guys keep harping on.
never-
Do
I
I
never
think my coverage...
And I don't think that's the case. I don't think that is the case.
Okay. Do you think my coverage has been like totally balanced? I would say no. I've obviously given less time to the Palestinian
I don't know.
perspective, and I think the reason for that is simply that
No, not just the Palestinian perspective, Ethan. I think that rather than talking about that issue in and of itself, rather than talking about the genocide itself, every time you have
Hassan, I'm answering
talked
your
about-
question.
Every time you've talked about Israel-Palestine, it almost always revolved around
I was going to tell you why. Do you
personal,
want
Oh,
to
can I-
personal
can I-
vendettas that you have experienced
I was
from
gonna explain
pro-Palestinian
that.
content creators.
Okay. Would you like me to... You asked me a question, so I'm going to answer
Yeah.
it. The reason
Go
for
ahead.
that being is that I feel like I'm responding to a lot of bullshit that's been passed my way ever since Leftovers ended, starting from you and your community. Now, that's my answer to that. Now, let me ask you about this. This sword.
Your guys' community has a lot of the same people. It's infighting, basically.
Sword has a Nazi swastika hilt.
Oh! Yeah, I noticed all that. I mean, yeah. Is it a swastika? Yeah. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
Do you disagree? What's funny about that?
I think it's funny because you've made this a major point of contention. That's why.
Oh my
it's
God.
funny.
It's a swastika, is it not?
Yeah, it's a sword that is a bleach sword, as you know already. That has a hilt that has a Japanese manji sign on it. But yes, it does look like a swastika, as I've also noticed and have talked about on numerous occasions that you've brought forward. On
Yeah,
your
yeah. Of course,
podcast
you're
already.
conceding that
Such
because
as
we
when
fished this
such as
up.
when
But
I
yeah.
made fun of, such as when I made fun of, I believe it was Alexa that.
What is
that
there's so
grabbed
much
it
going
and
on?
Oh, you immediately go over the
Oh,
swastika.
okay.
one. Yeah, exactly.
Audio so low.
Do you think? Do
Yeah.
you?
You
Do you
so
think that
anyway,
do
my
you think
point
that
is,
I actually
Hasan,
think
if I
it's
can
a-
continue my point, is that you knew it was a swastika sword. So why? What is the? So I mean, why did you guys choose to pose with this sword?
Ethan?
Answer
Because
that.
it's a
Why was the
swastika.
choice made for this
Ethan,
sword?
But,
I'm gonna
Ethan,
gently-
Hasan, settle down. Hasan knew what Ian was doing with the swastika sword. And maybe that's why, picture left, you don't see Hasan in the picture because, well, I don't really watch Hasan or care about him. He's probably not stupid in a general sense. So he's like, yeah, I'm not going to be in that picture because Ian knows that that's a swastika. Or it's going to be perceived as a swastika. I don't give a fuck. Whatever Hasan actually says it is, but maybe Hasan's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that so I can, not be, not be a part of it. I wasn't in the picture, so it's fine.
Explain this to you again. One, it's not a swastika, but regardless.
Do you think it looks like a swastika?
I did not make this editorial decision. I wasn't even.
Do you
was I-
Plausible deniability, he's not in the picture, so he can't say that he knew about it, per se, because he's not there. He just said, hey, go ahead, do whatever. Well, I mean, I guess he is there in that picture, but
do you
I
think
don't
it's
think I was in the
reasonable to
photo.
perceive that as a swastika?
Joe enough.
Ethan?
Answer the question.
was not-
Is it reasonable
no,
to perceive that?
I don't think it was a deliberate decision that
Okay, well-
iDubbbz made, but I don't know. I don't
Okay,
know his
well,
mind.
Hasan, they're your swords, and according to the New York Times article, there was 10 options. So what's the chances that they chose the swastika one? That seems pretty slim.
Well,
He
You
has
got 10
10
swords, don't
swords
you?
or
The
10
week
racist
prior- The week
swords.
prior to that, I believe. I don't know the exact timeline. I don't really remember when they shot this, but I had the sword out because I was doing an Assassin's Creed promo. Do you feel like if I thought it was
That figures.
genuinely a swastika sword, I would use it in an Assassin's Creed promo
Yes.
shot?
Yes. That's what we call a dog whistle, Hasan. And what you're doing is gaslighting somebody. You made a video.
You think I'm- you
Let
think
me
I'm
make a
dog
point here,
whistling with
Hasan,
the-
because you're the king of microaggressions and understanding the perspective of minority
This is
groups.
true.
Right? So you made a video. You participated in a video accusing
okay,
a Jewish.
can we- wait,
Let me
hold on.
finish
Wait,
my
you know,
point,
I'm gonna let you
Hasan.
finish that.
No,
I'm gonna
no.
let you ask the question.
Stop.
Can I-
I'm gonna let
You
you
are
finish
making
that
a video
after.
accusing a
Ask you
Jewish
again.
man
Oh my God.
of
You think
exaggerating
I
anti-Semitism
used
while
a-
exhibiting the most hateful symbol.
Adults. I mean, it's probably a little heated, though, isn't it? Fair enough. Continue.
Against Jewish people. Do you not see this as a problem? Or at
Wait,
least,
Ethan,
am I
couldn't-
insane
couldn't
for
hear
thinking
anything
this
you
is
said.
odd?
Ethan, take a deep breath.
Answer the
Okay.
question. I don't
Take
need
a
you to
deep breath.
console me.
I didn't even hear your question. I need you to.
Well, you
I
should
need
try
to answer
listening instead of
something.
speaking.
I'm just looking for
Got
clarification here.
him.
Do you think that I deliberately was using a dog whistle in an
Yes.
Assassin's Creed promo, or that it was a cool sword?
I mean,
that
based on
was
everything I
laying
know about
around
Hasan,
because
I'd
it's the
probably
only
say
long
yes.
sword that I have.
You have 10 swords.
I know they're heavy. That's not a real sword.
So you, Yes, I'm aware that it's not a real sword, but you had 10 to choose from. What does it matter how much they weigh?
Yeah, the
You
other
did-
ones are heavy.
Let me
Ethan.
paint a
I'm
scenario.
waving that
Let
shit
me
around.
paint, Hassan, let me paint a scenario.
The other ones are heavy, so, you know, Idub's the guy that trains to be a boxer can't hold a sword, you know, a heavy one for a few seconds or however long it
For
was.
you, okay?
Got it.
Listen, okay? This is important.
Wow.
You participated in a video accusing a Jewish man of exaggerating anti-Semitism. You exhibited in that video the most hateful symbol against Jewish people. 1 out of 10 of your swords that you have previously already stated you know
Hasan
is the quote
technically didn't.
swastika sword. So am I insane for even, you're treating me like I'm insane for bringing this up, but it sounds pretty reasonable.
I mean, it's a little insane.
So
yes.
yeah, microaggressions just don't
because you're
exist for
asking me-
Jewish
you're-
people.
You're asking me why iDubbbz.
It's your
made
sword,
this
bro. I don't
decision,
believe that you
and
weren't
I'm
there.
not iDubbbz.
You were
and
there,
I
bro. It's in
don't
your
know
fucking
how
house.
It's not
I
his
don't
video,
know-
though.
I don't know
mean,
why
to
you're
be fair to
asking
this,
me
Because
why
it's
iDubbbz
your
chose
house
that.
and your sword.
But I also gave you what my speculation is, and that is that
It was just
it's
a
most
cosmic
likely because
chance.
I had
Okay.
previously had it laying around because I had just done an Assassin's Creed.
so in theory there then, because it's his house, it's his sword, then Idubbbz isn't responsible for when him and Ian did a podcast and, you know, they said his old catchphrase, which was NF, you know, the slurs. That would be Ethan's fault because it was his podcast in his studio. So Idubbbz is clear, he can go back to saying it.
Creed promo.
Okay, if you say so. So if it's a cosmic fluke, which you claim, then why leave the photo up?
I'm not even in the photo. I don't.
I
think,
know it's
right?
in your
Am I
room
even
though,
in the-
and with your sword. Why leave the photo up if it's a cosmic fluke?
Wait, why are you asking me this question? I don't know. I'm not. Ethan.
I'm sorry,
I am
Hasan.
not
Are you
iDubbbz.
unable to make value judgments on situations like isn't that what you do for a living? Do you think that
I don't
iDubbbz
think-
should have
yeah,
removed?
I don't think it's relevant or that
So-
big of a deal at all. If that's what you're trying to get out of me, like, yeah, I think it's not.
Okay, so you're
It's
telling
what
a
you
Jewish
are
man who's
perceiving.
complaining about a very
and
odd
also,
coincidence
can I just-
that I'm crazy and
It's
I'm
a score with
exaggerating.
emoji on it, Ethan. Can we? Okay, you got me. All right. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, you got
Listen
me.
to
I put a swastika in the video calling you out for exaggerating
No, that's not what
anti-Semitism.
I'm saying.
You
I
got
didn't
me.
do that.
Yes, you did. You
Ethan,
literally
Ethan,
did.
I didn't do that.
Okay,
Yeah, I
laugh
think
about
they're
it.
Go on.
both
It's not a
gaslighting at this
swastika.
point.
And
Then
I
why
don't
should he
even
leave
think
it up?
you have that much of an issue with swastikas, considering you drew one on PewDiePie.
I'm a Jewish
So-
man. You fucking moron.
Oh,
Oh.
I didn't realize.
Is
the
anyone in
Nazis
that
only
room
killed
Jewish?
Jews. Is that,
Was
is that
anyone
what
in that
happened?
room? Did I draw
Do the Nazis only
swastika
kill
one
Jews,
time
Ethan?
on?
Do you think that Jews have an exclusivity agreement with like being offended or not offended by Nazi imagery? You've done a Sig Heil
Don't be-
approximately what 50
Why
times.
did
since
I do a
Elon
Sig
Musk did it?
Heil? Why did I do a Sig Heil?
I don't know.
Because
a
because you
question
only
we are
watch
all
clips on Twitter.
wondering.
I was making fun of Elon Musk and trying to see if it was valid or not.
Oh, thank you.
And by the way, as a
Thank you for
Jewish man, are you
clarifying.
going
My
to tell black
bad.
people not to use the N-word?
Wait, what?
Are you going to tell black people not to use the N-word?
I don't know if that's the same. Might be, but like, you know, that would be like okay because fuck it.
Because it offends you.
I'm gonna have a sip of my
Do you think this is
Dr.
an actual
Pepper.
lesson?
Yes.
Okay. So you think that being able to draw the your anti-Semitism radar is completely
No,
out of
actually,
whack.
I think
And
it's
who are
fair.
you to
I
say
changed
that
my
to me?
mind.
You
That's the
pose
point
with
of
a
contention
swastika.
here. You're saying that it's not a swastika, and you know it's not a swastika.
I mean, it literally is a swastika.
No, it's not.
Let me
Is
see the
it?
swords in your background. Why didn't you choose one of those ones?
Because they're
I
heavy.
didn't choose the sword, Ethan.
I don't believe you.
Do you think this is a productive use of our time?
Absolutely. So anyway, you say it's a weird cosmic fluke. Personally, if I think it was a weird cosmic fluke, you say basically it's not a swastika. The difference between the Hindu symbol and
But it's not.
okay, right. The difference between the Hindu symbol
What
and
you
the
drew on
Nazi
PewDiePie,
swastika.
on the other hand, was a swastika.
I'll finish what I said. Yeah, I'm a Jewish man. I depicted a
All right, that's cool.
swastika, a tasteless joke
I'm just making sure.
on
Okay, so
iDubbbz
you
shirt
can-
10 years ago. You
Yeah.
said this is the swastika sword, and you keep it in your house and you use it and pose it in photos, attacking a Jewish man. The fact that you
No,
can't
I
even
I
concede that
jokingly
looks
referred
bad.
to it as looking like a swastika when my
So-
friend picked it up.
So
Wait,
let
if
me.
I genuinely thought it was a swastika memorabilia, do you think I would keep it in my house?
Dude, you're being so obtuse. I know it's not a swastika, right? And I know you know it's not a swastika, but it is literally a swastika also. Because the difference between a swastika and that Hindu symbol is this. You see what I'm doing? This is the difference.
Oh, he's
If you ask a Hindu
shaking.
person, would they walk around with a swastika sign?
Wait, so you know it?
fuck
so you
no,
know it's
they
not
know
a
that
swastika,
looks
but
like
you
a
keep calling it a
swastika.
swastika sword. So I'm a little confused.
Ask your Hindu friends if they would walk around with like a swastika brandished. They know. Are you Hindu?
I am not Hindu.
Okay, interesting.
No.
So anyway, it was a cosmic
Wait,
fluke.
do you
You've
think that
brandished
only,
what I.
Do you think that
What
only
is he?
Hindu people have bleed swords? Like, what's going on?
We're discussing
So-
the symbol, not the sword. Okay, go ahead. So you think it was a cosmic fluke? There was 10 swords. He magically picked that one.
I can't. Again. I'm
and
I don't. Hasan had to have known, but at the end of the day, even showed it to him first, and like, I think you'll like this one. It's not on Hasan. He's not the one that picked it. If you want to throw him some responsibility, maybe okay, but maybe even you're harping a little too much on the wrong person for this. You know, like if someone makes a video on someone and they go to someone else's house, person making the video goes to someone else's house to film it, they say the N-word, is the person whose house responsible because they said it. I mean, that's basically the same thing, isn't it? Or am I crazy? I don't know. Whatever.
speculating
he
on
left
the
it up.
decision making
if
of
it was a mistake,
person
he could have
who I
deleted
am
it.
not. I'm not him.
Go ahead,
I
ask
don't
me-
know. Again, I'm going to repeat myself here. I think I'm doing
You
this
don't
a
need
lot.
to. Go ahead.
I am not
Ask me the next
iDubbbz.
question.
I don't know what was going on.
I'm not
in his
accusing you of being
mind.
iDubbbz, Hasan, but you're acting like you're incapable of making value judgments on things because you're not
No, because
iDubbbz.
I already made the value judgment. I think you're being crazy.
Okay, well, Mr. Microaggressions thinks I'm being crazy.
What
Very
the
good. You have no
fuck?
problem telling Jewish people they're being crazy on what.
Yes.
It's like a blatant fuck. Go ahead, ask me the next
Yes.
question.
Where's he gonna go with
I
that?
think
don't
the
have
so-
a
if you
problem
could go
telling
back-
you're being crazy
if-
right now.
if-
You being Jewish has nothing to do with this.
Sure, I'm sure it doesn't. Do you think going back that it was a mistake to use that sword?
I don't really care about this at all.
Okay, fantastic. Well, that really shows where
I
you're at on this.
genuinely-
Go ahead,
I
and ask
don't
me a
care.
question.
I can understand that.
Okay. So,
That's how I feel about most things in my life. I just don't care.
since you believe that Israel is committing a
Bless you.
genocide,
Thank you.
what are the appropriate steps that people can take, both in the Western world and also regional actors can take against this entity doing a genocide by your own admission, that you would consider to be appropriate? Because it feels like
Holy
throughout
shit,
this
this is a
entire
long
process,
question, brother.
you have set boundaries on what you think
Just
is
killing
inappropriate,
civilians. That's the boundary.
as you have set boundaries on what you think is inappropriate,
Killing
and
civilians.
time and time again has said is outright anti-Semitic.
My boundary is killing civilians.
Okay. I wonder what his boundary
that's
is.
great. So
Is that unreasonable?
That's a perfectly reasonable boundary to set.
Oh,
Good.
okay.
So then we don't
Totally agree with
disagree.
you on that. Great.
Great.
Okay.
So let me ask you the next
So,
one. Let me ask you about this
from-
Tabris sword.
Just to fill you guys in real quick, Ethan and Hasan. Both of you say your boundary is killing civilians. Now, I'm not too up to date on what's happening in the Middle East, or the, Israel versus Palestine, Hamas, Houthi stuff. But I'm pretty sure both or all parties are guilty of killing civilians. So,
Hold on.
Tier
Hold on.
list.
I have a. Can I? Let me finish.
Well, you
There you
already
have it.
answered. Go ahead. You could
Okay.
go on a little bit more.
Okay, so hold on. Everyone is complaining about my volume on my side because we're using Zoom instead of Discord. So my fucking
Go ahead.
audio
It's fine. Take your time.
Is Zoom still around?
up and down.
It's in
Okay,
my ass. So,
so one of the first conversations that we had, you and
Uh-huh.
I had, that led to the Leftovers podcast ending, was that you considered "From the River to the Sea, Palestine will be free" to be an anti-Semitic slogan. You said that
Isn't it?
Jews
I don't
feel like
know.
this is an exterminationist slogan, and Jews fear this slogan in the United States of America.
Correct.
What?
If you think that Israel's doing a genocide, do you feel like it is appropriate for Westerners in the United States of America and Palestinians and people of Palestinian descent to be able to use emancipatory slogans, or should they go to jail under the Trump administration?
Okay, I mean, these are pretty extreme questions. Now, I'm not making a value judgment. I'm just trying. All I was trying to do.
Question is what's happening right now.
Bro, do you want me to answer?
Okay.
Yeah. I'm
Fucking
trying to
mess.
explain the Jewish perspective. I'm not trying to make a value judgment of it. But what I will tell you is that how do you feel about Norm Finkelstein?
No idea.
Love
Oh, he's
Norm.
got
I know
Koufax.
said
Uh-oh.
that
Here's
he's,
what he had to say about this.
I know what he
No,
said.
no, no. I want the
He doesn't
audience
like
to see
the
this,
slogan.
Hasan.
Hold on. Can I just...
Hassan, I want the
Oh.
audience
This
to
is
see
not
this
gonna be a
video.
gotcha moment for you. I know-
Loud
I know-
noises.
You know,
I'm
let's
also
let the
transphobic, but I don't
audience
agree with
know,
that either,
Hasan.
you know what I mean?
Rawr.
Hasan, let the
He's
audience
still my
watch the
goat.
video.
I can have a nuanced and reasonable disagreement with a person that I actually admire.
So that's what we're having.
Like Norm,
That's fair.
but I have
So
a
it's
disagreement with him
nuanced
on
and
that, yes.
understandable with Norm. Let the audience watch the video, Hasan.
Okay. Go ahead.
Palestine will be free.
Let me go
The
back.
slogan
Yeah.
Oh.
Here's the Norm Finkelstein, a prominent figurehead in the Palestinian liberation movement.
Yeah, he looks like it.
like the
We,
slogan
I know.
from the
I
river
have
to
more
the
No,
sea.
positions that I
pardon me.
disagree with him on.
The video
this
was
as
like-
Palestine
well.
will be free. I think it's a bad slogan. I know the slogan from the 1960s, the 1970s. It was a bad slogan then, and it's a bad slogan now because it has too
Bye,
much
Hasan.
ambiguity. When you say from the river
Hasan's gonna hit me with the cherry act.
to the sea, Palestine will be free, obviously a question arises. Okay, what happens to the Jews in that scenario? And some people will say, well, all it's about is everybody being free, but that's not what the
I
slogan
thought he wasn't
says.
supposed to drink Starbucks. I thought they.
So
I don't know,
have,
but
in recent weeks, I have voiced my concern that it's a bad slogan. And I said, just change it, tweak it. From the river to the sea, one
go.
person, one vote, Palestinians will be free.
there you go.
You can't answer that slogan because all you're talking about is equal rights for everyone. From the river to the sea, one person, one vote, Palestinians will be free. And I've
Well,
encountered recent
I don't know if he actually means the one vote thing, because I think what he's saying is good in
Oh.
that. From the river to the sea, Palestinians will be free, which I think is good. You're laughing
has
at
also
Norm.
routinely talked at campus encampments, college campus, Palestinian
Campus
encampments as
encampments.
to, I'm not going to make much hay about the slogan in general. There's plenty of other slogans.
Well,
that
you're willing
are,
to listen to him, but when I say it, it becomes a big controversy. I literally,
No,
I'm not.
telling
It's
you
not
that
even my
I can
opinion.
have a disagreement with him on that, and you're
It's a fair statement to say that you can generally agree with someone, but then they can say one thing and just be like, yeah, I didn't like that, but you don't have to, disassociate with them completely or disown them or, whatever. You can still be a fan of or have respect for. So that's just me, though.
forgetting one key factor.
What's that?
Okay, you're forgetting one key factor. Norm
Do
Finkelstein still ultimately will always say, while I disagree with the slogan because I think it scares people, it ultimately does not matter, and I'm not going to stand in opposition to it. He doesn't say it's anti-Semitic.
When have I opposed
He
it?
doesn't say it is extermination.
When have I
He
opposed
says
it?
that's what people
And
think.
so it's
So if you think
opposed
that-
it.
if you think that Norm Finkelstein would be in agreement with you in
He
any way,
literally is
shape,
in
or
agreement
form
with
on
me.
any issue, please have a conversation with him.
He's
I would-
literally in agreement with me, like
I would
verbatim.
okay. No,
Actually,
This
he's
is
more.
insufferable, and I've been doing it for like half an hour.
Hassan,
I want,
do you remember
I want
me
you to
advocating
ask
against
Norm
it?
Finkelstein,
Do you
I
remember
want
me
you to ask
advocating
Norm
against it?
Finkelstein if he agrees with you on anything.
Sure, I'll ask Norm Finkelstein. Do you remember me denouncing that statement and saying people shouldn't say it?
I believe in our conversation.
No, it
you
didn't
said
happen.
That,
You're lying.
You said it was anti-Semitic.
I said it's perceived that way by Jewish people. All right, let's move on. The Sabra tier list.
Norm
now,
does not believe it's
Oh,
an
boy.
anti-Semitic
very
slogan.
good. I'll ask him about it. Now, let me ask you about
Are you actually going to do that? Because that would be wonderful.
Yes, I'm
going
to talk to Norm.
Productive.
We'll have a great conversation about From the River to the Sea.
Now, slide.
Is it? Wait, can I ask you a question?
No. It's my turn.
Okay,
You spoke,
go
and
ahead.
now it's my turn.
You know what? You go ahead.
Thank you.
All
I
right.
appreciate that. That's very gracious of you.
Well, I mean, it's just a back and forth conversation, but
Yeah.
you seemingly have a lot of grievances not pertaining to the actual issue at hand. But
I don't know. The issue,
you
my
know.
friend, the issue at hand is your
Ooh.
behavior.
No, I think the issue at hand is the genocide.
Well, we seem to be coming at this from two different angles, which is great, right? So let me ask you this. Hold on. You said it's my turn to ask, so let me do that.
Oh,
Hassan, is it my turn to ask a question or what?
That there's a genocide. You already
Game recognizes
I care
game.
about two things, Hassan. It's very important to acknowledge that.
Don't you think
I can care
that
about two
your
things, my friend.
incredibly narrow framework
Very
surrounding
easy.
your own personal feelings?
I'm not that smart,
that
but I can care about two things.
Okay, no,
Even
I
if
can
one is
too.
more urgent than the other.
I need to take some drugs
You
if
think-
I'm going to continue
You
watching
think
this.
your own
Holy
personal
hell.
feelings, born out of your misunderstandings, is more important?
Did I say that?
Then
I said one is
actually-
more urgent than the other, referring to the genocide.
Oh, okay. So you
What?
recognize that
Hassan,
the genocide is a more urgent
Hassan,
issue.
please let me
but you
ask a
spent
question.
Almost all of your
Yes, very,
I'm going to need at least 6 to 7 business days to recover. Oh my god, it's only been 36 minutes. And I even skipped the first 10. Fuck!
commentary
good.
surrounding this issue
Very
on
good.
talking about your own personal feelings and how you've been wronged by people.
Very good. Let me ask you. So you claimed on.
Wait, can you answer that question?
No,
Does
Hassan,
that
you
make
asked your
sense?
question. It's my turn. I talked about how gracious you were, man. What happened?
Wait.
There's
I
no
said you're
buttons
so
on that
gracious, you're gonna
jacket.
Let me ask you a question. What happened?
Does that make
Don't
sense
make me
to
take
you?
it back. All right,
Does
let me
that
ask you a
make
question.
sense to you?
Hold on to that. Ask me after this. You defended Frogan's use of the Sabra tier list. What was your opinion on that?
Funny,
Oh my god.
I
Go
guess.
ahead.
Funny, ha.
I think that the Sabra hummus tier list is absolutely insane to consider anti-Semitic, and most people have already laughed about it, despite the fact that it was very damaging in terms of deplatforming a bunch of content creators that participated in this, egged on by yourself, by the way.
Now, the thing about that list, while I don't give a shit and don't think it's that bad, I suppose in the world that we live in, I could see how some people would be offended by it, but it's not up to me to be offended for those people. I don't give a shit.
Yes, with pleasure.
And yeah, it's not
It's insane.
even remotely
Okay.
anti-Semitic.
Very
It's like
good. Let me
identical
ask you
to
a
the
question.
contraband
Meatloaf.
that Twitch capitulated on.
What?
So let me follow up with this. Have you seen the thumbnail?
The thumbnail?
Yes, that's what I said. This
For
is the
what?
thumbnail that's still up. Now, let me ask you this, Hasan. Here's
What?
Frogan's thumbnail for
My
the Sabra
God.
hummus tier list.
Uh-huh.
In the F tier is me and Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro is
Uh-huh.
not
Oh, I
in the
didn't even
tier list.
realize
He's never
that.
explored or used. Why do you think Ben Shapiro is on the F tier?
Ethan? I'm
Whoa,
gonna
answer the
walk you through this
question.
again.
Hold on.
Well, you're
I'm gonna predict this. He's gonna say I didn't make the video, so I don't know why you're asking me. Book it.
dodging.
I'm not iDubbbz, and
Oh,
I'm
but
not
you
Rogan.
can't make
Fucking told you.
value judgments suddenly on your friends who you've spent all this time defending.
No, because I don't care.
Well, I do.
I don't.
That's
I
fair.
think it's great you
So
don't
this
care.
is-
Why is Ben Shapiro there?
I don't know. I don't.
I mean,
care
he
about
knows
because
why
he's
she's
also
there.
Because he's
massive
Jewish?
fucking- What?
Oh
Because
yeah.
it's the
Because
most
he's
most
Jewish?
prominent Jewish creators on
Do you
YouTube.
think Ben Shapiro's Judaism is the reason as to why he would be
Yes.
100% without a doubt, yes.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Hold
go ahead,
on.
take your time.
Hasan, you know this to be true. He's on there because he's Jewish, and hummus is something that Jewish people make or eat. I don't know, I've had it a couple of times, it's whatever, but he's on there because he's Jewish. It's fine, we get it, you didn't make the video. We understand. But that's why he is there. Who cares? Just straight up, it's not my job to be offended for people. Who gives a fuck? That's where I'm at.
I know it's a lot to process.
It's really not. Who gives a shit?
This is a lot to process.
Yeah, I know, man. It's tough.
Especially when
really
it's
don't know
someone
what
like
to say because it looks pretty bad.
No, because
Farquad.
it's so fucking stupid.
Who cares what
Hey, man.
Farquad
Kinda
thinks?
So
dumb
why
right
is Ben
now.
there?
You look kind of insane.
Okay, very good.
That's
Why is
why
Ben
I'm having
there?
a hard time. Like, I don't know why fucking Frogan made this thumbnail. And
Why
I
is
don't
Ben
care.
there?
I don't have any issue with this thumbnail.
Why is Ben there?
Because he's a prominent defender of Israel.
You're quick to say that Jews aren't the only Zionists, right? So why is Ben Shapiro, of all the people in the world who are conservatives, who are Zionists, Christian Zionists, why Ben Shapiro? Me and Ben Shapiro and F Tier, the two most prominent Jewish creators on YouTube? That's a coincidence, just like the swastika, huh?
Ethan,
These are two cosmic coincidences, eh?
Ethan,
Hasan, they're really sacking up.
the tier list that
Sacking?
you're talking about. Let's first of all,
I don't know
the
who
tier
any.
list that we're
Well, I
talking
guess I
about
know half.
was
on
literally
there.
designed by a
AI.
content creator who you
Oh.
advocated to ban, and he got banned.
Very
His
good,
name
and
is
I'm glad he
Rafi.
did.
You
He
called him
definitely
a
deserved
token
it.
Jew. You called him a token
And
Jew.
I still stand by that. The man is just
You-
Oh
fucking.
my
He's,
God.
he's,
So you
spent,
think
he's
that-
yeah.
So you
think-
get to draw swastikas on people.
I think Ethan might be a touch too sensitive. Just saying. Just an opinion. That's all that is.
PewDiePie, but Rafi can't say
PewDiePie.
that there is a tier list here where Sabra
This is
hummus
Frogan's tier list. This is her-
the lowest. The Sabra hummus, liking Sabra hummus is the lowest tier,
Ben Shapiro.
and the highest tier is being able to get a Habibi pass. You, as a Jew, get to determine what other Jews are able to do. You're the Pope of the Jews, as Sam
I
Seeger
didn't.
likes to
I'm
call
not
Ben
determining
Shapiro,
what they can
ironically
do,
enough.
but this
is that
is
what's going on?
This is Frogan's bit. This is her
Background
stage.
that Ethan has
This is her
is
bit.
fucking
I mean,
with
you
me.
can say the Jewish dude is the fall guy and did everything,
Ethan,
but
can you
that's
tell
not
me-
true.
wait, so you get to draw swastikas, but Rafi can't even say Sabra hummus is dog
He
shit.
can say whatever he wants. I'm not
Oh, so he
criticizing.
can,
By the
but
way, I'm
you're
not.
gonna-
You
you're gonna
think
call
that
him a
my
token Jew
criticism
for
is that
that.
he doesn't like Sabra hummus? Are you being serious right now? By the way, is that a beef? Hold on. What are you drinking?
It's a Dr. Pepper cream
Isn't that
soda.
who owns that?
I don't know, but it's
Yeah.
not on the BDS
Are you
national
sure?
BDS list.
We'll double check.
Yes, I'm 100% sure.
Okay, we'll double check that.
You-
It's not about Sabra hummus, and like
Oh my
let's not be
Ethan,
obtuse.
Ethan, actually,
That's-
the BDS one is actually pretty funny too, because like you've been.
I don't know what the
you
BDS list is. I
consistently talk
assume
about-
it's like banned stuff
You
from Israel
consistently
or
talk
something.
about how like I drink Diet Coke or
I don't
whatever.
fucking know.
When that fan came up to me and said stop drinking Diet Coke, it was not on the Palestinian National Committee's official BDS list.
yes, it was.
And ever since it
lying.
has been on that official BDS list,
You're lying.
I have not drank Diet Coke or purchased any Diet Cokes at all.
You're lying.
Somebody
It
get
was
this
on the
man a
list.
Diet Coke.
Wait, what is?
What?
Oh, he's got a gun
Yeah,
sitting
it was
there.
on the list. You're lying.
I didn't know liberals
What
like
was on
guns
the
like
list?
that, unless
Oh.
it's fake.
Yes, it was put on the list, and I stopped purchasing Coke, and I stopped drinking Diet Coke.
You
even though I
said
love
you know
Diet
what's
Coke.
funny?
What
You
is
told her.
BDS?
I think
Yes.
it's like
You remember what
not
you told
that
her, son?
significant.
You remember? Yeah, you remember what you told her? You said, "I'll
Shut
just
up.
put it in."
BDS list refers to a list of products, services, and companies that boycott, divestment, and sanctions. BDS movement calls for boycotts and divestments from okay. Oh, BDS boycott, divestment, and sanctions. Okay. I don't. Let's see what they have here. Oh, they had to verify me. I do not. Ugh. Got Dell, HP, Disney Plus, Google, Domino's, Burger King, Pizza Hut, Coca-Cola, Wix, Wikipedia, Television, Reebok, SodaStream. I don't fuck with Amazon's Alex Texaco Chevron. I don't give a fuck about any of this. To be honest. Continue,
Now cut.
gentlemen. Cut.
Yeah, no, I was joking with her because I thought that it was a ridiculous request at the time because it wasn't on the Palestinian National Committee's official boycott, divestment, and sanctions list, Ethan.
Okay.
Well, I just had to
It's
wait
not
3
about Sabra
fucking
hummus,
seconds.
just so you know. Like, let's not be silly
Wait,
about
what is
this.
it about?
It's about what's Sabra means a Jew born in Israel. It's an Israeli company. It's everybody knows it's like considered like Israeli hummus. It's been on the
Straight up
BDS
did
list.
not
Everybody
know
knows
that.
the
For the
connotations of Sabra
longest time,
hummus,
I just
right?
knew that it was
Nobody-
something Jewish
Yeah,
people
I don't
ate.
like
Do
Sabra
hummus.
hummus either. We're not talking
Do we-
about hummus. What I
okay,
don't like is
okay, great. So you-
anti-Semitism
okay.
perpetuated by your friends and swept by you. Now, why is Ben Shapiro in the F tier? That's a cosmic coincidence? Okay, let's move on. Very good.
Ethan,
Go ahead. Next question.
I'm not
I
Frogan.
know it's.
and I don't know
I know.
why.
How can I make value judgments on my friends I've been defending for 2 years?
Also,
Who can say?
there is a tier
I
list in
zoned
front
out
of
for a
me,
second.
and it seems like a bunch of people, both
Ben
Jewish
Shapiro and me are in the
non-Jewish,
F tier.
on the Loves Sabra tier list.
You're looking at the end. I'm looking at the thumbnail, bro. I'm talking about the thumbnail.
I know, but
Shit.
first of all, again, I'm making inferences about
Whatever.
editorial decisions that other people have made. I'm just simply speculating at this point.
Yeah, that's
You know,
fair.
it's a
Are you not
I mean-
embarrassed by
It's a
this
joke.
armpit hair? It's so cringy, bro. It's like so weird.
Oh,
I'm glad you
boy.
changed that finally. On a separate note,
Playground insults.
what?
I find it just so weird and bizarre that this was your thumbnail for so long. Also, ironically, wearing a Rolex hat, which is like probably the symbol of capitalist excess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a free
Cool,
Rolex
dude.
hat from a friend of mine. I still wear it every
Yeah,
now and
and you're
then.
so. Oh wow, who knew? So anyway, Ben Shapiro was
I'm so-
accidentally
wait,
in
what-
the F
What
tier.
does this have to do with anything? What's going on, man?
Yeah,
What-
I know
what's
it's
happening?
confusing. It's very confusing. For
Yeah,
me. It's like
Hassan's a
car crash,
scumbag
sure.
and a liar.
I think
We
it's
know
just
this
this.
is a
man in the
cosmic
A
mistake.
tier
I feel like
on the-
even-
on the
yeah,
tier
yeah.
list, all about anti-Semitism and.
I feel it.
Do you
I feel like most people would even watch. Well, no, probably not. So,
think that this is at least a bad
moving
coincidence?
on.
No, I don't.
Well,
I
that's
really don't.
fantastic.
No, I don't think it's a bad coincidence at all. I think you're trying to find with a fine-tooth comb like any
Of course.
incidents
The
that
Jewish
even
man
come
is
across as
crazy.
remotely
He sees
anti-Semitic.
anti-Semitism
These guys still
everywhere.
really like
There's-
each
and these
other.
are
You
just
want my answer?
cosmic
You want my perspective?
mistakes.
I'm
Nobody
telling you.
argues
You want
for
my perspective?
4
I'm giving it to
hours
you.
straight.
Genuinely, okay? I think
Go
genuinely.
on.
At a time when there is
Mhm.
unprecedented levels
Yes,
of
I know. We can't
open,
talk about
out and
anything else. That's very
anti-Semitism,
convenient for you.
At a time when there's unprecedented levels of out and about anti-Semitism,
Sure.
with incredibly prominent, oftentimes right-wing conservative figureheads
Yeah.
actively talking about Jews, okay, in deeply anti-Semitic fashion,
Mhm.
you have lasered in on people that you can't even actually catch, quote unquote, dead to rights because they're not anti-Semitic.
Well, they're not
And
wearing a
you
shirt
want
that says
to
"I
make
hate
them-
Jews," but
it
they're walking
seems to
around
me- it seems
swastikas
to me
and
like
doing tier lists with Jews on the bottom. I mean, that's as
It
close as you
seems
can
to
pretty
me
much fucking
like
get without them
you-
just saying "I hate Jewish people."
Ethan, it seems to me like
And I
you
think you're
want
acting really
them
silly and
to be
obtuse right now. The
anti-Semitic.
guy who's all about microaggressions and understanding the perspective of minorities and stuff, telling a Jewish man that he's hallucinating anti-Semitism and won't even
I am doing
concede
that.
that this looks bad. Okay,
No,
fantastic.
you're hallucinating anti-Semitism in this circumstance.
Very good.
I'm not saying anti-Semitism is not a prominent fixture of American politics.
Very good.
Okay.
I actually do think that anti-Semitism has exploded
brave
in
of you to say.
popularity
Very
in
brave.
American politics,
I
especially.
didn't.
So that's not my point at all. I'm saying you individually right now
So-
wish that these people were anti-Semitic.
I
So you're
really
trying to find anything you can hold on to.
It's really not
but
as
That
once again,
seems to
none
be
of those
pretty
people are me.
on
So I
par
don't
with
know why
a
Stop with the
we've
value
devolved
judgment.
liberal
You can't make a
agenda.
decision.
away
It sounds
from-
stupid as hell, dude.
Wait,
Let me
I
ask-
sound stupid as hell? What?
No, when you go, I can't. I'm not them.
Got
I mean, I don't know why you're asking me what their genuine decision making.
Why would I want my
is, and
best
I don't
friend
know.
Idubbbs to be
I can't tell you
anti-Semitic?
what their
Why
process
would I
was,
want
but
my
I don't
best
think
friend
it's an
Idubbbs to be
issue.
anti-Semitic? Why would I?
They're
want
both just talking, and
You think I
that's
enjoy my
irritating
friends and
as
people
shit.
around me
Can I
being
be honest?
anti-Semitic?
Do you want me to tell you why?
I would love.
I don't think you're
to
gonna
hear-
like the answer.
Yeah, this is gonna be good. Go ahead.
Okay. You want everyone that has criticized you to be anti-Semitic so that it makes you feel better about your position. It's not your own personal positions that you have explained to people that come across like you're using anti-Semitism as a shield to deflect criticisms against Israel.
This is
and that if they are actually out and about anti-Semites.
Yeah, I mean, probably. Whether even I'll try to, you know, be charitable here. It may even be unintentional, but yeah, there's probably a pretty good chance that there's some of that happening. Like I said, trying to be charitable might even be unintentional, or he doesn't mean it per se, but you know, whatever.
That'll make you feel a little bit more comfortable, like you won the argument in your mind, and that your community would also finally go, oh yeah, you're right, you're a permanent victim in this situation. Because there's an unimaginable amount of anti-Semitism everywhere online, it comes across as shocking that you laser in on what you perceive
is that a golden retriever, you think?
They're very clearly not even dog whistles at all. And I'll give you an example of this. Something that you did that
probably
I found
too
very
cheap
funny
for a golden retriever. You know how Hasan hates capitalism, but that dog was probably expensive. Probably cost. I have a golden retriever, and he was like $800. So, which I'm not saying that's expensive. Well, I mean it is for me, but the point being, fuck it.
You tweeted, or you don't tweet.
My cat was free. I got him from Humane Society. So I also had another cat. I don't have him anymore, but I got another cat that I found on the street. He lives elsewhere now. I don't know what the point of this. Yeah.
Sorry. You Instagram posted about my Theo Von podcast appearance.
Sure did.
My Theo Von podcast appearance where you were like, oh, I can't believe Theo Von didn't actually ask him about his like dangerous anti-Semitism or any number of different things in the conversation, including.
So you did see the video. Probably just a clip of it, isn't it?
I think you talked about Rick Scott. Now, we did actually talk. Theo Von and I did actually talk about Rick Scott.
Let's pull that clip up,
I'm sure you didn't see that. But hold on. Let me finish. But what I found very strange about that
they need
the fact
they need a mediator, you know, like a presidential debate. You have 45 seconds, and then they can cut the mic off. Because yeah, that's the only way to get progress, I think. Not that it really matters, but just that way there's not all that.
That Theo Von, and I didn't even know this at the time, the day prior to me, had actually interviewed Candace Owens. I think you and I both agree that Candace Owens is an anti-Semite, right?
I think that he was on that 1-2 punch.
Okay.
Bow, bang.
Do you think
you hit him with that anti-Semitism, boy?
No, Ethan.
I think he was on a vibe.
As your former podcast co-host, do you think
former
that
friend.
I am anti-Semitic, one? And if I am, if you think I am, do you think I'm as anti-Semitic as Candace Owens?
So, yes, I think you're anti-Semitic at this point. I'm comfortable saying that. Are you as anti?
Point.
Well, let me finish.
Let me
finish.
Move
you
on
asked me
Frogan,
two questions.
And let's address
no.
what you think I'm doing that's anti-Semitic.
Hold the phone. You asked me two questions.
Got the mic.
Together. I'm going to answer both. You said, do you think I'm anti-Semitic? After talking to you so far today, I can say unreservedly yes. I think that you are more anti-Semitic than Candace Owens? No. But I think your form of anti-Semitism is way more destructive and sinister. Candace Owens is outright. Hold on there, Hasan. This is an important question.
Do you think I'm anti-Semitic now? Because 2 days ago you said I wasn't.
I'm gonna answer.
Okay.
Your form of anti-Semitism is way more insidious because it's silent, it's tricky. She's out there just saying what she believes, and I respect her for that. Nick Fuentes is just out there. Nobody knows that what's his stance on Israel. Candace Owens' stance on Israel. But you're tricky. What you do is deny the heritage of Middle Eastern Jews, stuff like that. You accuse them of being always the oppressor, always. Everything, and by the way, you spent the first part of this debate calling me insane for what I think most people would perceive as blatant, obvious anti-Semitic acts.
I don't think most people would look at
the dog
right now. And
let's not worry about that. Let's
sign of mental sanity.
Well, we'll have time to poll the audience afterwards. So let's continue.
Okay.
Ooh, hand jibbers.
Right. Well, look.
Stop.
going back to the Theo Von situation, and you said, so you said I'm anti-Semitic, right? Yesterday you said,
He sure
2
did.
days ago, in the aftermath of the Sam Cedar conversation, you said I'm not anti-Semitic. So what has changed in that process? Is it this conversation that
Yes.
you and I had?
Dogs
Yes.
on the treadmill.
Okay. All right, got it. All right.
Here's the clip, by the way. You
Lay
accused me
down.
of not.
And that it won't is
You accused me of not mentioning that Theo Von did not ask you about Rick Scott. Let's go back and watch the clip.
Oh,
no,
boy.
I said of what I you didn't just say.
Bro,
in the
you
clip. I
literally
said
look
in
like
your
the dude from
Instagram
Beetlejuice. That's
story,
crazy. The
on your
small head guy.
Ethan, I
Insult.
use my words very carefully. I said in the Instagram story that you
Small
posted. I don't
head
watch
guy,
your stream
Beetlejuice.
that much. I don't. You know,
Just
I don't-
trying to
Yeah,
insult
wait,
him
real
like
quick.
a.
of
Bro,
it.
that's crazy. Do you see the resemblance?
Oh, that is accurate.
You're this guy from Beetlejuice. In this photo, you have like the same coat and shit.
Yeah.
Come on, Hasan, that's
Yeah,
funny.
you are a comedian.
I sure am, buddy. I see you laughing. All right. Anyway, so you accused me of misrepresenting what
What the
happened. Let's play the clip.
Right?
Is this all a Charlotte
$800
ruse?
billion of Medicare and Medicaid that they want to cut. Mike Johnson goes on stage.
What is he drinking? Well, I'm probably have to take the label off it because Theo's sponsored by Celsius and Hulk Hogan and sugar something and that. Oh, I thought they didn't show. Oh, that's yeah. Oh, okay. I see. Those dislikes are from Theo Bond's thing. Yeah, those all came because he.
Says, I goes on Caitlin Collins on CNN and says, oh, there's a lot of fraud.
No idea who that is.
There's not fraud happening in Medicare and Medicaid on the point of the recipient.
Right.
It's happening on the point of the providers.
Right.
And that's why I got banned recently on
way.
Twitch yesterday. Because
Sorry
So
about
you
that
got
one
banned.
day.
So you just got back.
Yeah, Libs of TikTok was like posting about how I said something.
Wait, what is this?
And they misconstrued it as though it was a call to
Dude
action
just
to
got to the party.
assassinate a
Wait,
sitting
why are you
US
showing me
senator.
this?
Well,
'Cause
you're saying I didn't bring this up, but or I'm saying that Theo didn't bring this up. He didn't. You brought it up, framed it in your own way to basically preempt
No,
a tough question.
Ethan.
Rogan.
I said on the Instagram
Snoogin.
story that you posted about me, Dan, can you switch it back to Ethan?
Don't switch it back, Dan. I'm just kidding.
Jesus Christ.
Bring it back.
Okay.
1 second.
All right, thanks, Dan.
I know, man.
This looks ridiculous on
It
my
sure
end.
does,
I'm
buddy.
sorry. Okay. So yeah, this was
And
if
it's
you
not
want, you
just
can
'cause of the
also pull up
video.
the post as well, but
Oh my
the post I
god.
was referring to was make sure
Oh,
Theo
that
knows that
hello.
he's a terrorist adjacent content creator, and I believe there was another post
I
about it or
mean,
something.
not that far off though, is it?
Again,
I said it was. I said he was irresponsible to platform you and not ask you difficult questions.
yeah. So the
So wait, Hasan said and what Ethan said are kind of different things. So whichever one's telling the truth here, bad look on the other. Look at that Doge. That dog probably eats better than all them homeless people in Palestine. Yeah.
the question I have for you once again is like he had Candace Owens on. Like, do you feel like that's a little bit more
Yeah.
damaging in terms of spreading potentially anti-Semitic narratives, or do you?
Bro, you're like Bulgarian or some shit that's in everybody's eyes you're just a white guy. Like, that's just what you are. Candace Owens is black. So, she gets more leeway, probably. I don't know. Outside perspective.
Do you think that anti-Semitism is when you feel bad personally, and that could be any number of different things that I've done in any given moment?
Yes, I think you were just as bad as her in your own special way. And
I'm assuming this is Los Angeles behind him, and my god. Like, when you normally you see Los Angeles, you see, like, that's a hell of a face. That just gross. Los Santos.
and that's why.
You think
and
I'm
you guys
just
were
as
hitting that
bad
same
as Candace
flavor.
Owens
Yes.
on anti-Semitism
Yes.
in my own special way.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Very
All right,
good.
So,
cool.
at first
Very
it
good.
was
So
no,
let me
and
ask you a
now it
question.
is.
Can you explain-
Hasan, can I ask you a question?
Can you now officially? not talk about like Frogan or anyone else and tell me why I'm anti-Semitic?
Well, we're
Because
kind of
yesterday,
getting
2
there.
days ago, you said I wasn't, but
I already-
also
do
for a year.
You're repeating yourself.
Well, I am, because you haven't answered this question.
I have literally
2 days
answered
ago,
it
you said I
probably
wasn't
2 times.
anti-Semitic.
The reason
For
that
a
I'm saying you're
year-
anti-Semitic
for
is
a
because how you
year-
responded to my question at the beginning of this interview.
Ethan,
He did
for
say
an
this.
entire year, you called me a virulent anti-Semite,
No,
a rabid anti-Semite.
never did.
You did. You did. You went
not.
back and
I
forth
have
on it.
actually
Even
went back
Ben
and
checked
checked.
you on it.
I had said that
Even-
you've spread anti-Semitism and stuff, but I never called you an anti-Semitic. I went back and
Oh,
checked.
so
You're
I was
lying.
simply
Anti-Semite.
spreading
Yeah,
anti-Semitism.
I mean, it's a difference.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Okay, can I ask you a
Tier
question?
list is about Habibi, not Sabr. You're conceding to the framing. Yeah, we're not conceding to anything. I don't want to even talk about the tier list anymore. Stop it. Okay.
Okay, let me ask. My turn. Do you think it's
All right, your
appropriate to accuse? Do you think it's appropriate to accuse any Jewish person you disagree with of working with the ADL?
Yes. What's the ADL?
No.
Here,
I don't,
for
I don't
example,
think
is
it's
someone
appropriate.
using
But
it
if you're talking about
anti-Semitically.
me saying
Anti-defamation
we
league, I'm
combined
kidding.
ADL in unison.
Hassan, let me finish.
got
You're
people
getting ahead of yourself,
deplatformed, then
buddy.
yes, I do. I do think that that's
You're
a,
getting
that's
ahead
a
of
valid
yourself,
thing
man.
to. That's a valid thing to not only speculate, but also
Hold the
I stand on that for
phone.
sure.
Yeah,
Hassan,
hold it.
I'm getting there. You're getting ahead of yourself.
Or is he
buddy. Here's an
Pakistani?
example of it being used in an anti-Semitic way. I'm sure you.
I don't know what he is. I don't care. Uh-oh.
Timeline on that doesn't make a lot of sense.
I heard you in
Who
the
is this?
ADL.
What
bro.
is this?
This is your fan who ran up on me on Rodeo.
Who the fuck is this guy? My fan?
Yeah,
This.
you remember.
Wait, is
You
this
can't
the-
blame Hasan for
is
his
this
fans
the guy
per
that-
se.
Wait. No. This is the guy that you claimed was my fan, right? He was calling me the fucking.
I mean, there's a clip
S-slur
of being
on
like,
the
"Yo,
timeline. He's not
I
a
love
fan.
this dude."
What's the S slur?
Anyway, who cares if he's your fan or not?
No.
The point is,
Hold
What
on,
is the S?
Hold on.
no,
You brought this dude
it doesn't
up.
matter.
and
I'm
I
showing
believe
him
this is
as
not
an
the first time
example
you
of
brought
you.
this dude up. It
Did
doesn't
he say
matter.
S?
It's fine. He's
You
not a
brought him
fan.
up.
I don't care.
You
Listen,
brought him up. Wait, what do you mean you don't care?
Which one did he say?
Hold on.
no,
You brought this dude
it doesn't
up.
matter, fan or not.
No.
The point is,
Hold
no,
on.
it doesn't.
Hold on.
No,
You brought this.
who cares if?
Right? He was calling me the fucking.
I mean, there's a clip
S-slur
of being
on,
like,
on the
"Yo,
timeline.
F or
I love
S?
Who claimed was my fan, right? He was calling me the fucking.
I mean, there's a clip
S-slur
of being
on,
like,
on the
"Yo,
It sounds like he's
I
saying
don't care.
S.
If I brought
Now you
him
don't
up,
care.
Hassan, if
Whatever.
I brought him up,
He
let
is-
me finish
that
my
person is
point.
not a fan of mine.
Save
why
it.
did you?
I don't
Why
know.
did you make it seem like that person
Hassan.
was a fan of mine then?
Let me get to there, okay? You asked me.
No,
It's
get
my
there
turn
right
to
now.
ask a question. Just
Why
because
do
I
you
brought
think
him
this
up
random
doesn't give
fucking
you
guy
the
is a
space
fan
to
of mine,
interject.
Ethan?
Don't know
Because he
what
rolled
the-
up to
what's
me
the S
and he
word?
brought the
Finish.
fucking clout farm. Is that why?
Yes.
At the
Okay, thank you
encampment
very
where I was
much.
very clearly disturbed by his presence.
Hassan,
Is
I
that
think
why?
you know where I'm going, and I think you're scared.
So
Yep,
Ethan,
let me.
can you answer
Use.
the question?
Let me
Why did you falsely claim that this
Oh.
fucking
Because it's
random
on
dude
video
who
saying
does
he
not
loves
like
you, that
me
you're his favorite
is a
person.
Shut
fan
up.
of mine?
it's SQUAW is an ethnic and sexual slur historically used for indigenous North American women. I did not know this. All right then.
What do you mean?
Didn't you use?
At least I learned something.
All right, Hassan,
Didn't
here you
use
go.
I guess.
him approaching
Here we
you?
go. You wanted it.
Didn't
I've
you
got
use
it.
him approaching you?
Oh,
I'm so sweaty,
I
bro.
love you.
I'm so
I
sweaty.
love you, bro.
I love you,
I
bro.
have to agree with you. You're like my hero, bro.
You're my-
I
you're
love
the
you.
GOAT.
You're the coolest guy in the world, bro.
Wow, how crazy.
You look gay in that.
I'm fucking. Is this another? Is this another hysterical delusion?
Yes, it is, and I'm gonna explain to you exactly why.
well,
Wow, dude, I love you. You're the goat, bro.
We spent a good deal of our time in the encampment. If you watch the unedited full live stream,
Alright.
we spent a good deal
I've
of the
seen it.
entirety of the encampment running away from him because
Well,
he kept
listen.
trying to ask me dumbass fucking questions.
Okay, but that's
for
got
his
nothing to do with
own
he's a fan.
Dumbass.
Listen,
For his own
But,
dumbass
please,
podcast.
you're derailing.
holy hell. Okay, so our sanity's going up very slowly, but a little bit. Let's fucking.
derailing this, and I need to
I'm
make
not
an.
derailing it.
You
it's
absolutely
not
are.
called derailing when I'm telling you I was there and I'm telling you
Okay,
the situation.
very good.
You are nefariously making it seem as though this person is a massive
Do I
fan
need
of
to
mine.
play the
He
clip
was just
again?
trying to cloud chase.
I'll play it again. I'm fucked.
You can play that clip again.
Oh my God,
Here,
bro,
I'll add
I love you,
subtitles.
Hasan. Can I give you a hug?
Can you
I'm
play
so
the
sweaty,
Can you
bro.
play
I
the
love
clip
you,
where
bro.
he
I'm so sorry.
openly
I love you,
admits he
bro.
doesn't know who I
I have
am
to
and
interview
asks
you. You're like
people
my-
around?
you're my hero,
Because that
bro.
also
You're my hero, bro. I love
You're
you.
the coolest guy in the
You're
world.
the
There's literally 1, 2, 3, 4 fucking people plus me 5. Well, that's fine to say.
Ethan.
Yes, sir.
Ethan.
Mm-hmm. You okay?
If you think he was a fan of mine, why'd you call him a Sneeko fan when you interviewed him?
Because he's both. I mean, surely there's crossover.
Oh, there's a crossover.
Do I need to play the video again?
Okay,
I'll
well,
do it again. Fuck it.
My
Yeah.
producer. and
Please don't.
March. My producer and my.
You're like you're my hero.
Oh my God, stop
Listen,
this.
he might not be a fan, but you can't accuse me of being delusional for saying that.
You
That's-
are delusional.
Okay, very good.
You
I'm
are.
delusional. Let me get to my point, please.
I mean,
So
Thank
I'm not even asking you to endorse this guy. I'm just simply showing
I
you.
don't. I
and
don't endorse him.
I know you
and
don't.
He's not a fan of mine.
I-
So why did you claim that he was a fan of mine?
Because he said he was. It's
I
understandable.
feel like we're
You
running
do
in circles.
cloud
But I'll play
chasing
the
at a
clip
fucking
again.
Palestinian encampment? That's why? That's all it takes for you?
No, it was when he said, "You're the GOAT. You're my hero. I love you."
He didn't know who I was. He was just saying that so he could fucking ask for
He
an
literally
interview for his
recognized
podcast,
you.
for his POA podcast.
Okay, who cares? I don't care.
I mean, he did say
So let me
Hasan,
move on.
so.
Do you want to talk about this for 2 hours, or do you want to actually have a conversation?
Like this is a wait. Well, hold on. You can't just say you don't care all of a sudden when you look like a fucking asshole for falsely claiming that some random
I'll play
person
it
who
again.
stalked you is a fan of mine. You said he was a fan of mine in. I believe in,
Okay,
in one of your videos.
I lied
you
about
said he
him
was
being
a
a
fan of mine,
fan.
and I was sending
I
harassment.
I don't
Yes,
think he
very
Don't you
lied.
think that's a
I
big
just
point of
think
contention? Don't you feel like
I
this is a big point of
concede.
contention?
misinterpreted,
I
misunderstood,
want to show you an example.
assumed.
Do you see my side of this though?
I think
Because like
no,
a
you're being dishonest.
a random Sneeko fan comes up to me,
A random Hasan
wants the
fan
clout
comes up
chase,
to you.
and you, wants the cloud chase, and you
Cheapest.
turn around and you say that he is a fan of mine to prove a point, to make a false point that I'm to imply.
Which you, in fairness,
that I'm
Hasan have
sending
also done.
people to harass you.
That's
Do you
not what I
feel like
implied.
that's appropriate?
That's a total lie. I have never accused you of anything of the sort. That is an
So
outright horrific.
You did not imply that this
bad
person
Not
was a fan
horrific,
of mine.
but-
Yes,
was
I did.
actually harassing you.
Yes. When's it, now, that's a big logical leap, Hasan, from he's a fan of yours to you're sending people to harass me. That's fucking insane. And by the way, I mean,
did
you
he
are
not
a
harass you?
liar. You know that, right?
Did he not harass you?
Bro, what are you talking about? Did you
Did he
send him,
harass you?
Did you send him to harass me? No.
Did he harass you and then you
Yes.
imply in your
Okay, who
video
cares,
that he was
bro?
a fan of mine?
Go ahead. When you're done,
leading the
go.
audience to believe.
I'll wait.
Leading the audience to believe. Here, we have a clip, by the way, Dan. If you want to play this supposed fan of mine, since you guys are playing clips over there.
By the way, this was
you can
a
probably
while
play
ago.
it.
He
It's
turned on you
timestamped.
when he saw that you supports trans rights. I know. He spoke ill of you.
No. Even before he
Bro, who
actually.
What
cares?
the
I'm not even
fuck
mad.
is
I don't care
happening?
about this guy.
No, well, seemingly
Holy
you care
shit,
enough about it that
I'm
you
just-
brought him up here and you used him
You didn't
in
even
the
let me.
past.
Okay, Ethan. Another sick pause. Everybody here needs to slow the fuck down. Please.
Explain why I'm showing
You
it.
used him in the past.
I just want another good
Like I was sending
base
You're
of Ethan.
terrified because you know where this is going.
Alright.
I have no idea where this is going. This has been a journey.
Well, how about you let me
A fucking short one.
speak, and then we can figure out. We can take
Okay,
the journey
can you,
together.
Can you play this clip though?
This clip
Yes,
is
just play
an
it.
example. Not that you're endorsing him.
Can you,
not that
can
he's
you
a
play,
fan.
Can you play? Dan, I sent you a clip.
I passed it along. It's out of my hands.
It's the.
I'll play it.
first
I'll
I
play
think
it.
Dan still likes
Yeah.
the
character
song.
onto the stream where he's like, "Who is this guy?"
I'll play it. Yeah.
Pothead or pot man. Is that it? Hey.
I could be on. Are you guys doing interviews? I'm Palestinian. I know I look Jewish. I'm
He doesn't-
Palestinian.
No, we're just streaming.
Israeli. I look like Israeli.
We're just the guy. Normally the answer would be yes, but he's busy right now.
What are you guys doing? What
You're
kind
not
of
there.
We're just streaming. It's live stream.
Oh, live streaming?
Yeah.
Dude.
You're not even in this clip, bro. What are you talking about? You're not even
No,
present.
later.
You're out.
What?
Yeah,
you're
get
out
them-
playing with swastika swords or
Yeah.
something. You're not even.
Dude.
Hold on.
You're not even in this clip, bro. What are you talking about? You're not even
No,
present.
later.
Get that bitch out of the man's interview. Ooh.
You're out.
What?
You're out playing with swastika swords or
Yeah.
something. You're not even in this clip.
Dude, why? Chat. I think he's showing it on his side. You're
I
not
played
seeing the
it.
clip. Yes. Yeah. He's
It's
he's
really
showing the clip.
okay.
That is
Can I-
that
bro,
is the first introduction of this character onto the broadcast. and he doesn't know who the fuck I am. He just sees cameras and goes, "Oh, I would like to do interviews with this person who is famous," it seems. That was the whole point. The reason why I showed you that is because he was never a fucking fan.
Problem. Well, I'm not gonna say he's a fan. He did know who you were because he said your name, so to say he didn't know you would be dishonest, but that doesn't necessarily mean he was a fan. He can say he is, but you know, he did know who you were, so there is a little dishonesty in there. This background, there's just a lot of dumb shit going on here.
And then when he saw the full extent of my viewpoints, he started calling me the F slur. He's a Sneeko fan.
Hasan, in that clip, he doesn't see you. You're not there.
Ethan,
I'm not
he's
sure.
a clout chaser and not
Fine,
a
bro.
fan.
I don't care. Who cares?
So I don't know which is worse, listening to these two or listening to Boogie and Rastov. It's just all fucking ear grape.
Let me ask you a question.
I do care because
okay, very good.
I do care because
Very
you
good.
have made an inference.
What the dog doing? What are you doing, puppy? Fetch me their souls.
Oh my
That is
God, dude.
erroneous.
You are dragging
made
your
an
feet on this
inference that
topic,
is-
bro. It's getting ridiculous. Can we
You've made
please
an
move
inference
on?
that is ridiculous.
This clip you sent
and
didn't
also,
prove me.
Is that a possible tactic for Ethan? Because, like I said, I haven't watched him recently, where I'll bring something up, because I think I noticed Hasan did it also, somewhat. If you bring something up and it doesn't, like, you know, fall in the line that you wanted to, that you try to veer off real quick. I think it's a pretty common tactic for most people. Like, you try to bring up maybe a gotcha, and then the gotcha doesn't get, so you gotta go somewhere else, some other direction, some other topic. But that's what I'm getting off that.
You're wrong
False.
at all.
Go on.
You're not there.
Bing bong. Hello.
And you were never there, Hasan. Okay, let's continue, please.
Was he about to
Go
cry?
ahead.
Okay, so this is an example of
Yup.
someone who I think is anti-Semitic. You probably agree with me on that, but I
Sure.
don't want to put words in your mouth. He's not a fan of
Yeah, I
yours.
think no.
He's-
I think that guy.
Yeah.
That I mean, from what I've
Yeah.
seen, any number of different things I've seen from that dude.
Sure.
I think he's like a right-wing dating coach or something.
Yeah, he is. Dating Money 101, baby. Like and
Yeah.
sub. All right, so here he is using the ADL. He accuses me of being in the ADL, and I'll play it.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know, but I heard you survived it, and I heard you survived the Holocaust.
That timeline on that doesn't make a lot of sense.
That just sounds
I
like
heard you
he's
in the
a
ADL,
troll.
bro.
The ADL? No, I'm not. All right, so he says, I heard you're in the ADL, bro, which, like, obviously is, you know, I perceive that as anti-Semitic.
I don't think you're in the ADL, Ethan. If that's what you're gonna say.
Well, you said, and I'll quote a tweet that you made. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead. You said, I'll quote, he worked with the
moving my
ADL
mic,
to make
so-
Zionists a protected class on Twitch. Now, that is an outright lie.
I don't think it's an outright lie.
I worked with the
you took credit
ADL.
over it, didn't
Sorry,
you?
sorry. I worked with the ADL? What does that mean?
Yeah, as in like work.
That you worked with
alongside,
the
not you're
ADL.
in the
Real? Oh,
ADL.
that's what you meant when you said I worked with the ADL.
I mean, that's what I would have
I
assumed,
worked
so.
beside
Yes.
them, just incidentally together. You didn't mean that I
Yeah,
worked
you
with
helped
them
them out.
privately to get
that,
people
yes.
banned. Of
Hire a
course not.
contractor to do something.
No, I do think
I don't.
that.
Didn't you
stand
say
by
you
that.
Being
choose your words
misunderstood
very
here.
carefully?
I'm gonna speak right into my microphone so I can be heard. I want to be heard
Very
now.
carefully, Hasan.
Not always. I am
Oh,
famously.
okay, we're walking that back. Sometimes I speak out the
famous
side of
for
my mouth when I
Americans
say you
of
work with the
9/11,
ADL.
so-
Here you are again repeating the lie
That-
of Steiny on video.
It's an unfair thing for Ethan to say because everybody misspeaks. You can say something without meaning how other people perceive it. You know, like, I think that this is stupid. People could be like, oh, well, he's calling them stupid. So no, what they're talking about is stupid. I don't think they're stupid. That could be, you know, so it's a whole thing, for fuck's sakes.
Go ahead. You had time to.
Constantly come after me when his knows I'm not anti-Semitic and making these inferences that I am and like partnering with like the ADL and
Partnering with the ADL. You want to unpack that one there, buddy?
Yeah.
Partnering with, that's not working for.
Partnering with the ADL. That is precisely what
I have
took
never
place.
spoken to the ADL, so what does that mean?
I'm not saying you directed the ADL
Do you know
to take
how
action.
silly you
Well, actually, you know
look?
what? I am kind of saying that. I am implying that you
Okay.
directed
There you go.
the
Stand
ADL
on
to take
business.
action.
Well, that's
you are a prominent.
that's a
you are
defamatory
prominent
claim that has
content
zero
creator.
proof. And
You are
frankly, it sounds a
prominent
little
content
Jewish
creator.
conspiratorial.
If I thought that you worked for
Timeout, honkies. I forgot what I was going to say, actually. Let me go back. Maybe it'll refresh.
and to take action.
Well, that's
you are a prominent.
that's a
you are
defamatory
prominent
claim that has
content
zero
creator.
proof. And
I remember now. Couldn't that have been his unfounded opinion? Where earlier I'm pretty sure Ethan said that, well, that's just my opinion. Someone said this, so you're allowed to have an opinion and it be wrong. Like, it doesn't mean that you're, doesn't mean you're slandering them or lying. It just be an opinion based on the information that you have, which is why opinions can change. But in an argument with anger and who one of us has to be right, I need to be right over you, not actually learning and growing. Whatever, that's the result. So it worked.
And frankly, it sounds a little Jewish conspiratorial.
If I thought that you worked
my days.
for the ADL, I wouldn't have
I've
said
not
you worked
spoken
with
to the ADL.
I would have said you worked for the ADL. Now, what's interesting to me, of course, about
Hassan,
this
Guys
is
are
that
getting bogged
you
down in
work for
semantics.
fans.
Hasan, I do not work with the ADL.
Okay,
You
now he can.
were a part of the mass smear campaign.
That is
with
not
your
working with the
YouTube
ADL. Would you
videos
say that
falsely
I got
claimed
nothing to do with
that
the
this-
ADL? Blame Frogan for doing a racist fucking panel at TwitchCon that became a viral
That
story
wasn't a
independent of
racist
me.
panel, Ethan. Just like cracker is not an anti-white term,
Okay,
except public pressure clearly works on Twitch, and they make erroneous
Does it?
bans
Because you're
when
still
they don't
around.
want people coming after them.
Here's
Twitch
Frogan
has
repeating the
aimed
same lie that she
capitulated
heard
to
from
public
you.
pressure on
You're
numerous
acting like this
instances.
the last
This is
year
what
and
she
a
learned
half.
from
You
you.
did everything in your power to push people to bully and harass me.
Jesus
including
Christ.
weaponizing propaganda organizations such as the ADL to get me banned off Twitch because I made a
So
joke.
she said I weaponized the ADL. You said I partnered with the ADL. You said I worked with the ADL, but
Yes.
you didn't mean that I spoke to
Yes.
them. You just meant that we were magically skipping along and happened to
Why
just,
the fuck is he dressed like
without
that?
even seeing each other, just working together in perfect harmony and love. And by the way, I'm pretty sure you're implying that I worked directly with them on this.
No, I don't. I don't
Okay,
think you
well,
worked
you
directly
doubled
with
down on
them.
it. You said that you do believe that, and I just want to let you know that that is a
No, I don't think you directly
a
work with them. I think your goals are aligned on this. Yes.
Oh,
And
okay.
For Mr. Precise words, say that. Don't say you're partnered with the ADL. Do you understand? You said partnered with the ADL. Me, a Jewish man, you accuse without any evidence at all of being partnered with the ADL. You're now
Okay.
trying to
admitted
rewrite
you-
history and
you
say I
admitted
said
that
you
you
were
got the
working
My
beside
God,
them.
my
You are
slippers
a-
stink.
You are a virulent fucking liar.
They're my house
Ethan,
slippers
did you
that I wear
or did
right
you
after I
not
get off
take
work.
ownership over the band?
And then I have my clean slippers that I wear any
I
other
think-
time I'm not
yeah, I
wearing
might have.
socks. In case anyone's interested. There you go.
Does that
Now
mean
you
that I'm
know.
working with the ADL?
Yep. Nope. Sure. Maybe. I don't know. I don't.
Ethan?
Hey, Hassan, can I ask you a question? Are you working with
Is
the
it time to
neo-Nazi
close
Party
this
of
bitch or
America?
what?
Because they're
Oop.
also anti-Zionist.
Ah.
No, seriously, are you working with the neo-Nazi group of America who's also anti-Zionist?
Ethan,
Do you
have
work
I
with
ever
them?
taken
Are you
credit?
affiliated with them? Are you
Have I ever
partnered?
taken
Are you
credit
partnered
for
with
an
neo-Nazis?
anti-Semitic
Or
incident
or
that the
do you guys
neo-Nazi-
happen to have the same
Okay,
goal
wait, no,
and
I
are
have a question for
completely
you.
related? Yeah.
Here's a parallel for you. Have I
Go
taken
on.
credit
Ugh,
for
Jesus, man.
a neo-Nazi anti-Semitic incident that
You
took
look at the
place?
cover.
Because if the answer is yes, if neo-Nazis
Swastika sword, baby.
actually engaged in an action, neo-Nazis actually, not like your fucking hallucinations, something that we all agree. Like neo-Nazis did an anti-Semitic incident and I took credit for it and I said, this is awesome. I'm glad that it happened. I made numerous videos so that they would do this. Yes,
I was
you
on
would
the
be
tier list,
valid
bro.
in saying that
It was literally
comparison,
targeting me. I was
especially
on the tier list. Why
Especially
wouldn't I respond?
considering Ethan.
I don't have to be
Ethan,
a member of ADL to respond to someone
Ethan,
harassing me. Are you
listen
fucking
to my words,
dumb?
please.
He was
Listen
gonna
to
say
my words.
retarded.
I'm trying, but
Okay.
it's just fucking
Listen to
lies
my
and
words.
filth and like empty air.
Filth.
From your perspective, my association
Man, that dog was kicking the shit out of his own face.
Fighter of anti-Semitism. My association from your perspective with anti-Semitism is like something that is so laughable that I don't even know how to describe. Like you're like, oh, it's a swastika sword, but then you admit that it's not a swastika sword. That's how loose this association is. But on the other hand, I can't say that you have worked
Yeah, there he is again, going it down.
in getting
You said I'm partnered
banned.
with.
That's
Partnered with.
anti-Semitic.
You are lying.
Oh my god.
You are rewriting.
I freaked out for a second. I panicked. I just want to say something that I probably shouldn't, so I'm gonna.
That you have worked alongside.
That's not what you said.
That was
You said
really.
Partnered with. You are lying. You are rewriting. You are not taking accountability. You said I'm partnered with the ADL.
Ethan, I can't take accountability for your hallucinations.
Hasan, do you think that the normal, reasonable person watching that will infer that we were just coincidentally working the same, or that I was working directly with them?
What do you think?
So it was a cosmic fluke. Cosmic fluke.
What do you think a normal, reasonable person would infer when?
There he goes again. There goes that dog.
Literally gaslighting me. It's so obvious what you
demanding
meant.
the bans of Twitch streamers, and then after they are banned, you say, "I'm glad that."
So to me, gaslighting is just a term that kind of got made up for people not being able to. Like if someone says, well, I thought this is what you meant. You said this and this is what I thought. And then you're just like, no, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. I meant this. You're like, well, no, that's how I took it. You're gaslighting me. That's just a way to be like, I can't take what you said and how I interpreted it is how it should be meant. So you're just gaslighting me.
That they got banned. I take
That's all it is to me. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I mean.
I was on the tier list, dude. I was responding to them. It wasn't like a fucking like. It wasn't like I went out of my way to get them banned. I responded to them. I was on the tier list. There's been 3 instances, I think, of, in my opinion, very credible accusations of anti-Semitism. You've accused me of hallucinating all 3 now, which is very convenient.
No,
and also,
because they're not credible. We are not in agreement. These are not credible allegations of anti-Semitism. These are hysterical hallucinations of a person who desperately wants all of his critics to be anti-Semites so he can feel comfortable
glad this is on record.
in the unique position that he has created for himself.
I'm so glad this is on record. So you think
that I'm glad you
like I said, I do believe that there is some truth in that. You know, because it's a defensive tactic, like, you know, so there is probably not cut and dried just that, like Hasan's saying, but there probably is, like I said earlier, being charitable, maybe unintentionally, that Ethan does that to a point, which I'm sure also Hasan probably does in his own right, so great.
Yes.
So you think that you think a reasonable person would hear you say he's partnered with the ADL?
Oh, we're still talking about this? Cool.
And not think that I was working directly with them?
I think a reasonable person will hear your own words and think that you probably worked directly inside of the ADL.
Have I ever mentioned the ADL?
Didn't even make that inference.
Have I ever mentioned the ADL?
I can't tell if that's on my screen or if that's in the background. Oh, okay, it's on.
You took credit.
Did I ever mention the ADL, Hasan? Answer the question.
It doesn't matter. You took credit for the ban that the ADL pressured.
Do I ever mention the ADL in my entire fucking career?
So Hasan knew what he was doing with the swastika, quote-unquote, sword. Couldn't he just say the same thing about you here with the ADL? And then both you'd be like, you know, say, no, I didn't know swastika sword. And be like, no, I never said the ADL, so I didn't know. And Hasan will be like, I didn't edit the video, I didn't choose what made it in, so I didn't know. So you're just back and forth shit. That's all it is.
Actually, I mentioned them once, but I didn't even know what they were, frankly, if you have the
You didn't know what they were?
The thing. It was even. Did I ever?
Yeah, it's a clip where you are saying,
Okay.
I did that shit. I'll fucking take credit for it. You know who did that shit? The ADL did. You are taking credit for something that the ADL did.
So, fine. Then it would be reasonable to believe that, yeah, you could. It would be a reasonable conclusion to think that Ethan worked with, beside, whatever, the ADL. Yeah, that's probably fair.
I'm not even making that inference.
Well,
You're
they
saying,
attacked me.
Which one do you think? What do you think the average
you
person
sound
would think
so
in this
silly, bro.
situation when you are saying that you did that shit and it's the ADL's pressure that
It was me. I saved Lori and Cole. It was me, not you.
caused these people to be banned for such
Bro,
a
I was being
ridiculous,
silly. I don't care.
stupid,
Listen,
not anti-Semitic thing
listen.
at all.
I was being silly. They attacked me. I responded.
Maybe
I know, do I
partially.
know
Being
who?
silly.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Okay. Well,
So both of you will criticize each other for saying, well, I didn't mean it. It was just a joke. I was being silly. Ethan, you've done to Hasan. Hasan, now you're about to do it to Ethan. Hypocrisy on both sides, which, shocker.
all right. I guess we can
Well,
move on.
do I
then.
think
Now
I
you're
got
being
them
silly.
banned? I don't know. Who knows? You know, I think that
Yeah, you got a Jewish content creator alongside multiple Arab content creators banned off the platform for 30 days.
There's a
because you
reason they
cried
call him
about it, and then
token,
the
my
ADL
friend.
actually reacted.
Oh.
you spend time
because
being
they
a
saw it as a
token, you're
great
gonna get
opportunity.
spent.
Yo, that was fire. Right there.
But it was just silly. You know, fuck them.
You want to cash in on your Jewish friends anymore? Or can we move on?
Am I what?
Would you like to cash in on your Jewish friends more, or can we move on?
Cash in on my Jewish friends.
That's right. Do you know any Jewish people that aren't anti-Zionist?
What the fuck is happening?
Who?
Uh-oh, Tim McGraw.
I'm not going to
Who?
review. I don't want to. They're normies.
Okay.
I don't want to dox
yeah,
them.
you're lying. You're
No, I'm
surrounded. You're absolutely lying.
Okay,
what's
you're
not-
lying.
I'm not around Zionist Jews. What are you talking about?
Do you pass Jews on the street? Yes. Are you friends with?
No, I'm friends. Yes,
Okay.
I
Very good.
am.
I don't believe it.
Realistically, what are the chances that Hasan lives in West Hollywood and isn't friends with a Jewish person? I mean, come on. Let's be real.
They've treated me with much more dignity than you have, as a matter of fact.
You fucking scumbag, Ethan.
Yeah, because they're not on
Surprisingly
the
enough. We
receiving
can
end
have
of
a
an
more normal
insane fucking
conversation. I
harassment
can have a more normal
campaign. Why would
conversation
they?
with
Why
them
wouldn't they?
than you, seemingly.
All right. So you think that
They would most likely
just to
laugh
recap
at all of this.
Just to
they're
recap here,
watching.
so we can move on. I mean, did the random Zionist Jews that are treated you so kindly, did they have CPS show up to their house or skulls sent to their house?
Wow, that. Here we go. It's just, he's talking to IDOPS again, isn't he? That wasn't Hasan that did it. Sure, probably should have, said, yeah, that's not cool, you shouldn't do it, but realistically, fuck's he gonna do about it? I mean, guy's a scumbag, but what's he supposed to do? Or is your, ego so fragile that if your friends don't stick up for things that don't affect them, you're just like, well, I can't believe you didn't have my back, bro. Yeah. I mean, I get both sides of the coin, I guess, sure.
Ethan, I didn't do that.
Ethan.
I didn't say you did that.
I don't know why you're bringing that up.
I know you did, but
That
you're
has
acting
nothing to do with me.
Part
I'm
of
not
your
a
shtick
supporter.
is acting obtuse when you're caught in the corner.
Okay. All right. You've dominated the conversation so far.
So Ethan's word/phrases a day is you're being obtuse, and Ethan's his point of, Hasan's his point of contention. Wow.
I think we should get back to some stuff that
I agree. Let's just
Yes.
summarize.
For fuck's
No.
sake.
Look, can we just get
This
back to
is
Israel
quick.
Palestine,
It's
please?
very
Because
quick.
like you
I
see
just
the
want to put a cap
genocide.
on this. Just a cap.
And making these
you're doing the
inferences
thing that
I
I'm
am,
so
and,
critical of you on.
partnering
okay?
with like the ADL and
You said so. Just to put a cap on this, and we'll move on. You said I am quote partnered with the ADL, which you now claim was just a was.
Who is he
that I
partnered
was
with?
Working with them. You mean that we had the same goal? Okay, very good. We'll see how that plays. Go ahead. What's your question?
Okay.
Go on.
Okay.
It's interesting because you're
Speak.
currently doing the thing that I'm criticizing you on, where you are looking at a situation
Look at that
that you
dog
recognize
butthole.
is a genocide, and your only consideration and your only concern.
That's not my only concern. I care about
revolves
multiple
around-
things, my friend.
Revolves. Yes, you can, but these are really stupid things to care about.
I mean,
Ethan,
that's easy for
and
you to say. You're the one being accused of it. Let's just let's ask the
no one-
accused how
no-
serious their crime is. Fucking brilliant.
Ethan.
O.J. Simpson, do you think that this is a serious court
Do you
case?
think that
No, I
the
don't. Well,
Sabra
fucking
Hummus's
there it
shit
is. Let's
tier-
let him
Do you
free.
think that the Sabra Hummus's shit tier is akin to O.J. Simpson killing someone?
No, obviously not. You're being obtuse
Then why
again.
are you bringing
There it
up
is.
stupid fucking
Because you're accused.
parallels?
You are saying that the accused, right, can dictate how serious the accusations are.
Okay. All right, Ethan.
I mean, if they're the ones being accused, I suppose, to a point, yeah. No?
Pro-Palestinian bona fides. You have
What do you mean
talked
bona
about how you
fides?
gave
Can you-
my fundraiser. What?
Sorry, what do you mean by bona fides?
Like you've claimed that you are a stalwart ally of the Palestinian cause.
Correct.
You tried to also say this to Sam Cedar as well.
Mhm.
You brought forward the fact that you had given $6,500 in your context puke
Mm-hmm.
that you did as a further
What's that
indication that you are
content do?
pro-Palestinian. Even though
You
then
should have
turned
just went with
around and
content.
actually
That would have been
criticized
funnier
additional
context.
fundraisers that
But
were
maybe that's the
taking
thing with
place,
like a
the
Hasan
Creators for
thing.
Palestine charity that
Oh yeah, 'cause he says
generated,
context. a lot.
$1.3 million, including the fundraiser that you initially had given $6,500 to as a reason for why you were such a staunch ally. Why did you turn around and say that pro-Palestinian fundraisers are actually completely irrelevant in the grand scheme of things and completely useless? Do you think that
Yeah.
pro-Palestinian charities are simply there to make yourself feel like you're pro-Palestine? Do you feel like $6,500 was enough for you
I'll
to
answer.
spend the rest of the year?
You know, Hasan's just seething about this. That's why he keeps mentioning 6,500. He could just be saying donation, but he wants to specifically mention the amount. Because Ethan's rich. I mean, so is Hasan, but these pennies, these shekels that you threw at these devastated people. Mere. Blech.
Actively deplatforming
People
pro-Palestinian content
harassing me?
creators?
I'll answer your question.
right.
So I claimed when talking
Again, Hasan, fucking hell, with the long-winded questions. Just, you can ask things shortly. That question felt like it was 7 minutes long.
about now, by the way, this is something I criticize you for, which is
Gaslighting?
being obtuse,
Oh, there it
mischaracterizing
is.
arguments, and basically just being a prolific liar. So here's what the conversation was about, right? I
Mhm.
was talking about how when you're talking about activism, raising money isn't the most important thing because it can
Sure.
only do so much. There's other ways to do effective activism, like protesting, et cetera, working with Palestinian organizations.
Is protesting not
I'm just
effective,
saying,
though?
My point was
Because
not
I've
that
seen a
raising-
lot of
Hold
protests in my
on,
life
let me
without
finish.
Virulent anti-Semite.
anything
I've
happening.
done all of those things.
My point was that not that raising money
Just
is bad
speculation,
or
though.
dumb or
I mean, they
pointless,
probably
as
do
you
work.
erroneously claim I said. My point was that it's not
This is erroneous and felonious.
the most effective thing in the world, and there's other things. It's probably like the least effective form of advocacy you can do. That was my opinion.
I don't think that's the case, and I don't think that the Palestinians that
What's not the
received
case?
those.
What I said or what I claim?
No, your claim is wrong.
Okay, that's fine.
In
We
terms
can
of
disagree.
the fundraisers not being important.
That's
Right.
fine.
So we've established that you claim to be pro-Palestine, and yet you've spent all of the genocide coverage criticizing
Attacking people that
who
harass
are
me.
fundraising, creating, working with Palestinian organizations.
I never said it's not important.
interviewing Palestinians from Gaza.
Hassan, being an advocate for
and
Palestine does
claiming
not
that
absolve
they
you
are
of criticism. Stop with the
Claiming
silly
He
that
said
they
this
are
already.
anti-Semitic. No, this does not, because your criticisms are ridiculous. My
Well,
point
I
I'm
mean,
trying
that's
to make
kind of up to
here
other people
is
to
that
decide at this
your
point.
criticisms are in your own mind, like you have hallucinated an
By the way,
alternative
gaslighting,
reality.
anti-Semitic trope. This is what dog whistles are. You whistle to other people, and it's subtle enough that you
Ethan,
have
people
plausible
being mean to you is
deniability
not
so that when you get
anti-Semitism.
accused of being anti-Semitic, you can call the accuser crazy, which is exactly what you're
Ethan,
doing. You are a fucking anti-Semite, and you've been caught out 3 different times calling me crazy for very viable, very credible examples of anti-Semitism that you should at least be
Oh my
able
God,
to
he's
admit are at
spurting.
least not insane. Maybe a misunderstanding, but not insane. But no, according to you, they're all hallucinations. So go ahead and tell me why you're not dog whistling.
Yes, because Ethan, because people having an issue with your statements and with your coverage on as a prominent content creator with a relatively progressive audience, your coverage has entirely focused on
wrong.
your own personal feelings.
Not entire.
And a lot of misplaced.
No, not entirely,
paranoia
but part of
from
it
people who are
actually
listening
has
to
been,
you
from what I've
literally
seen.
think
Can we get a
that
whistle
people
soundbite every time
criticizing
he
you or
calls me
not
paranoid or
liking you is
hallucinating?
anti-Semitism.
You got a
That's not the
whistle?
case. I used to like you. I don't know anymore.
I can't whistle
And I don't
anymore.
think it's because
Well,
of
I know.
anti-Semitism.
I definitely
didn't
don't
develop
like you.
anti-Semitism after
Let
doing
me
a
let me
podcast
stand
with
on
you for 2
business and say
years.
I think you're a terrible person and a liar, and I don't like you at all.
I
There you go.
know.
I used to
know.
blow out the
Well,
whistle, now I have to suck
I
in.
wish you well, and I really do
I wish
hope.
everybody well. Everybody be well.
No,
All right,
not
let's
it.
move on. You got it.
Now who's dog whistling?
Want any more? Call me crazy or hallucinating again?
There we
Is that
go.
all you
I
got?
don't even need to do that. I think you're doing that all on your own.
We'll see.
To be fair.
Yeah, we'll see. So, do you want to tell me what is your
Who's the
evidence
black
that I
gentleman
work
in the
with
old
or talk
bitch
to
in
or
his
have any
background?
association with at all with Destiny?
Huh?
Destiny? What?
What? What? The guy
know,
that I
I
talk
had
about
to-
fucking obsessively 100 times a day? That is like basically like the Antichrist, the Lord Voldemort in my community? Yeah, you accuse me of working with him, knowing him, talking to him. What is your evidence for that?
Oh, thank you for asking.
Oh, you're very
Not
welcome.
only is there video footage of you, corresponding with someone in your Discord that literally aligns perfectly with Destiny's own Discord, offering clips for you to pull.
That sounds like a stretch.
You've also used used clips that are unlisted called Hamas Abi
Yeah.
when making arguments
fuck?
about my virulent
Oh,
anti-Semitism.
that's clever.
I pulled
Hamas
a
hobby.
clip.
Link that came from a Destiny fan account.
So that's your
But
proof that I
also-
work
but
with Destiny.
None of that is relevant.
Okay.
What's relevant is your constant coordination with Destiny's podcast co-host Dan Saltman, who you featured on your context nuke. So yeah,
Did I feature
I
him
don't
on
think
Did
it's
he?
that ridiculous of
My
a fucking assertion to make.
I don't remember this.
Especially when
Although
considering the fact
like I
that
said, I
you have been corresponding with Dan
Sometimes I just
Saltman.
put shit
and
on
you
to fall
did, and he
asleep.
is Destiny's podcast co-host. And the what does he call himself? The general of the
Bringer of pain.
That's what they call themselves. The Taliban and the Hezbollah. Their mass
How the
harassment
fuck would I
operations
know?
that they engage in. So yeah, I think that is not a ridiculous fucking claim to make at all.
It's actually insane, and it's a really convenient way of discrediting me. I've never spoken to,
No, I think you're
worked
doing
with,
enough
talked
to
about
discredit
Destiny
yourself
in my
all on your own.
life.
I don't need to bring
It's
that
a
up.
really nice way of you. You know what? I think you're hallucinating, buddy. I
Oh,
think you are Oh, you pulled a meme from his subreddit once, and
No,
there
that's
was a
not-
guy
that's
in
not
your
the only
Discord
reason.
that's
Did I
also
bring
in
that
his
up?
Discord. I think you're
No, I
hallucinating.
didn't say any of those things.
You sound
I-
fucking unhinged, dude. Are you crashing out,
oh.
Hasan?
Watch the words, the language. Can we all
Hasan,
just
are you
stop?
crashing out?
I gave
Do
Fucking
you have friends
swearing.
who are aware of the condition and can help you? get the
Probably
help you
not,
need?
brother.
Okay,
Rich.
Ethan.
You're delusional.
You featured Destiny's podcast.
I said he
co-host
discovered
that
the
you
IP ban. Is
correspond
that not
with.
true? I said Dan Saltman discovered the IP ban. That's all I said. I didn't endorse.
Mhm.
I didn't. All I said is he discovered the IP ban. Is that true? Is that materially true?
I don't
Hasan.
think
It
so.
is. It is.
I think someone in Destiny's community did, but it's fine. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so,
You
so
brought
how is that
up.
an endorsement?
Ethan,
What,
are you
Ethan?
claiming that
is this
you
what
don't
you
have
do
direct
whenever you're trying to
correspondence with
avoid
Dan Saltman?
Ethan? Hasan, are you hallucinating?
Ethan,
Hasan?
do you correspond with Destiny's podcast co-host Dan
Fucking
Saltman?
I've
hell.
talked to Dan Saltman, but also I don't think that that's Destiny, is it?
Yeah, no, that's just his podcast co-host and is perfectly
You
aligned with him and
say.
uses his community to brigade, and also has literally tried to blackmail
Hasan
people in
looks
Destiny's
I
fucked.
don't really
community
fucking care
for
because that's not
literally
Destiny, is it?
unearthing sex crimes that he did.
Man, you
Do
are
you feel
really
like that's a good
hallucinating.
person to align with?
I'm not
That you now
endorsing
openly
him.
admit.
I'm
Wait.
not endorsing him at all. I just said I
So, Hasan is throwing in his face about Destiny Dan thing. What Ethan was doing earlier with the iDubbbz Hasan, Brogan Hasan, that's not Hasan. That's what Hasan was saying. I'm not them. I'm not them. Now Ethan is saying Dan's not Destiny. Dan's not Destiny. It's an entire argument that goes in a circle of just hypocrisy. That's all that is. It's fucking wild. And neither of them see this. Like, it's just going over their heads, I guess.
Spoken to him.
No, yeah, you're not endorsing him. You're just getting information
Have you ever
from him
spoken to somebody
use.
you don't endorse? I mean, what kind of silly bullshit are we doing here?
Certainly. That
Well,
is-
there you
yes,
go.
I speak
Oh
to
my
people I
God,
don't
dude.
endorse. I'm speaking to one right
you
now.
talk to Dan Saltman. You're fucking outed as a Destiny's best friend.
Ethan, you're the one who admitted that just now.
I said
You
I've
also
spoken with
brought
Dan
forward-
Saltman, not that I'm a Destiny collaborator, which is what you claim, which is an outright, pathetic, provably wrong lie. And this is part of your disinformation campaign to delegitimize my points
I don't
without
think I need
ever
to
having to
delegitimize you
address
by
them.
associating
And
you
isn't
with
that
Destiny.
convenient? You never have to address anything I say because you can just say, Ethan's friends with Destiny. Ethan's hallucinating.
Ethan, I don't
Hasan?
think I need to. I didn't bring up Destiny. You did.
Yeah.
I
also-
think
You
at
lied
this
about me
point,
for 2 years working with him.
Hassan is under
2
Ethan's
years.
skin,
That's
and
right.
I don't think Ethan is under
Hasan?
Hassan's.
Listen,
Ethan, this is kind
Hasan?
of embarrassing
Year and a half.
to admit, but I defended you both to my community and in general because I thought that you were a lot more open-minded until
what have we
pretty much
disagreed on?
the December
What have we
of
disagreed on?
2024.
I'm sorry.
What?
What am I not open-minded about? What have we disagreed on, Hasan, other than me criticizing you and your friends? What have I said against the Palestinian people? Go ahead. What do we disagree
we are
on?
disagreeing on is what you choose to focus on.
that seem
and
significant?
What you think is the major point of contention here.
Well, that's first of all,
Bingo!
what I choose to focus on is certainly something you can critique.
A little frivolous.
But does that justify like lying about me continually for a year and a half just because you don't like where
Probably.
I'm focused? That seems immaterial.
Lying about what?
About me being Destiny fan, about hallucinating, sweeping for your anti-Semitic friends, lying about context, saying that my video's out of context without watching it.
I mean, that's kind of wild. Hassan,
Take your time.
please.
Do you feel like your video wasn't out of context?
Absolutely
wasn't a clip
not.
compilation of a 2-hour sequence of out of context clips?
You want to do this? What's out of context?
Okay.
Name one thing. Go ahead, read the chat. Someone will send you on Discord.
No. I have it readily available.
Well, I'll wait.
One of the major points that you made that I've seen through other people's coverage of it so
I'll give Ethan that. That content got dropped. He reacted to it immediately. Now, this man comes prepared with bullet points, talking points, probably some type of research or preparing done, and Ethan's just like, okay, let's go. I'll give him that. Definitely.
so far is that I deny rapes happening on October 7. Okay? That I deny rapes happening on October 7. There's a clip of you when you first encounter that statement where you are actually understanding of my position until your wife stops you and says, that's inappropriate. You literally
Ooh.
say, oh, he's saying the likelihood of rapes happening does not justify genocide, which you agree a genocide is happening.
Uncontested.
Ever since then, though, months later, you still chose
Her
to
name is
use that
Hila, by
clip
the
that
way,
is
Hasan.
14
I
seconds
don't know
long
why
out
you
of
refer to her
context.
as my wife. I find that a little chauvinistic.
shut up.
You know who she
gives
is.
a
You know
fuck?
her well. You've begged for Teddy Fresh from her many times. So, like,
Oh
yeah, you know who
my
she is.
God.
You've written her
Okay,
emails
Hila.
asking for clothing. Her name is Hila.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so
yeah,
why don't you
that's
say
fine.
that?
Okay.
Who goes, oh, your wife? Like, she's not. She has no. She's just like, oh.
Is she your wife? Then
Can
what
you
the fuck's the
respond
big
to
deal?
what I
Yes,
was saying?
absolutely. With
Why is
great
it-
pleasure, I
why
will
is it
respond.
that- Why is it
Because,
that you
Hasan,
initially
that
understood
was
the full
one ex-
context until Hila stopped you
Very
and
good,
said,
he
no,
said
no,
it.
no.
I'll answer. Would you like me to answer? That's one example of many. Seeing your response in the totality of all the responses, shows that you do deny the rapes that happened on October 7th. In fact,
the totality of all my
in fact,
responses.
you had promised me, and I know you would never lie to me, that you would watch the context puke with me. So why don't we pull up that bit there, and we can see how out of context it is.
Boom, do it.
Great.
Oh, wow. Hasan reacting to something that's made about him.
How you doing?
Certainly
I'm
is
waiting for the link. You
groundbreaking.
good?
Am I? Oh yeah, I'm great.
Oh, this
I don't think
put
this is
this
going the way
controversy
you
to
perceived
bed.
it to be going.
I don't think
but-
this is going well for either of you.
I mean, you're reading your chat. Do you think that's the
I'll
most
be honest
accurate
with
way
you.
to...
I was gonna be. I was thinking about being a lot more stern initially, but this has turned into the last conversation that we had, where I am trying to gently nudge you in the direction of sanity. and
Ethan, I
you're
want you
still-
to really understand. You're crazy. You're crashing out. You're hallucinating. Come sit over here. You know what I mean? Ignore the swastika. Ignore the accusations of working with the ADL with no credibility. Ignore the tier list with fucking Ben Shapiro and Ethan. Come sit here. You're hallucinating. Oh, thank you so much for. You know what? Thank you, Hasan. That's so kind of you. How fucking genuine of you to take off the baby gloves. You
Beef
fucking liar.
squashed. Oh.
I mean, this is. This
You
is
are
the
a
baby
prolific
gloves.
liar, bro. Where's the link? Just control F for.
The reason, for the record, the reason why I don't like to bring Gila into the conversation is because I'm addressing my concerns with you, and I don't think that it's appropriate for me to, extend
Well, you
the
just.
lens of
I mean,
criticism
that's a
to
little
other
silly
people.
considering you're like. Well, actually, it was Hila who influenced your opinion. The evil IDF lady. Anyway.
Okay. While we're waiting for the clip.
No, I got it. Deny the
okay.
violent rapes that took place. That is way beyond the pale.
Hold on, I'm grabbing another soda, but I'm hearing you. There is one instance in captivity.
Chair react.
That we have.
I'm not gonna let you chair react to me, buddy. You grab that Dr. Pepper. I'll wait.
No, I said I'm listening to you. Don't worry. I was just grabbing another soda. Go ahead.
On the pale.
Jesus Christ. Hold on.
That Dr. Chair
Did
react.
he say he was listening?
One instance in I'm hearing you.
Oh, he did. He said, I'm hearing you. So.
Instance in captivity.
Chair react.
That we have.
I'm not gonna let you chair react to me, buddy.
What the fuck
You
is
grab
he
that Dr.
nerd?
Pepper. I'll wait.
No, I said I'm listening to you.
Listen to how much he cared when he said that.
I'll wait.
Oh, no, no, I'm listening.
Me, buddy. You grab that Dr. Pepper. I'll wait.
No,
You chair react to me, buddy.
Look at the floods Hasan has on. He looks like he's fucking ancient. Father Death took time out of his busy schedule digging in the fucking gold mines. He's got a nugget to offer.
Buddy. You grab that Dr. Pepper. I'll wait.
No, I said I'm listening to you. Don't worry. I was just grabbing another soda. Go ahead.
Soda.
On the pale.
Is that there is one instance in
Did you put a
captivity.
Hamas headband on me?
I sure did.
Oh, see, you found
There
it
is
funny.
one instance in captivity that we have actually gotten verifiable evidence on. Beyond that, the systematized mass rapes that Hamas dealt on October 7, not a single bit of that has been verified. And people still run with it over and over and over again.
Many young people who are simply attending a music festival. Women were horribly raped.
I can't
Yikes.
see myself, by the way,
As
if you're
I
showing
said,
my
there
You're
is
reaction.
giggling. You're
Israel
giggling.
had
It's so
a right,
funny.
has a right to
No,
defend
I'm
itself.
not giggling.
You
I'm
sure
saying,
are.
dude, bro, what rapes did Hamas do? What are you talking
What
about?
rapes
The
did Hamas
Stop
do?
Anti-Semitism account that considered me to be anti-Semite of the week has also been hallucinating rapes once again, doing rape fantasies once again because they're fucking mentally ill.
Hamas has
You know that-
committed
That's something you go
Brother.
through a lot. You notice that? Call
What?
people mentally ill. Find that odd.
Well, it's better that he doesn't call them retarded.
Leftist values.
horrific acts
Yeah, I'm
of
not
sexual
exactly,
violence. and
you know,
took
I'm not exactly doing a lot of stuff that's kosher for leftist values in
Oh, okay.
general.
So you
but
so you
I don't really.
so you have no problem weaponizing mental health.
Yeah, when someone is hallucinating, I think it's appropriate to say that.
By your
yeah.
authority, I will decide who's hallucinating. Hasan.
As again, it's opinionated. Opinionated.
Ethan, can you? Ethan.
Hasan, I am so sorry. You promised that we would watch this. I pulled it up. Now sit silently and enjoy.
Okay, but I got the
Hamas
point. You're
has
saying that
committed
like you're showing clips
sexual
of me.
violence
You're showing clips of me saying that
women
someone
and girls,
is
men and boys
Wait, what?
slaughtered after enduring sexual violence. The deadliest day for the Jewish people.
Doesn't matter if fucking rapes happen on October 7th. Like that doesn't change the dynamic for me even this much. So that's the other part of this problem that many people that can't contend with. Like,
I can't believe how quickly leftists go from believe all women to Pixar it didn't happen. There you go, Hasan. What do you got?
Pixar it didn't happen.
That's
great commentary, by the way. Okay.
I mean,
so,
it's pretty apt.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Holy fuck.
You did actually.
I'm almost certain that I'm in a fever dream right now and that I'm waiting to wake up.
I'm surprised. You did actually show my findings on the UN committee report that came out.
The one that you misrepresent continually? That you fucking continually lie about the conclusion?
Report. Wait, what did I misrepresent about the UN
preliminary report? Go ahead, you tell me. Tell me what it said.
The UN preliminary report was not an investigative report. Like, for example, the investigative report that came out about Israel's systematized sexual assaults that was 49 pages long.
Horrible. What a horrible thing that was.
Yeah.
Unironically.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Just unacceptable.
The level of evidence in a preliminary report is only enough to actually create an actual investigation. The problem is Israel has denied an actual investigation to take place. Israel has told the United Nations that they are not allowed to do an actual investigation and to simply listen to what they have to say. Now, not only is Israel...
There are literally women who have said, I was raped.
Do you feel like the Israeli government lies?
Do you?
Every government does.
Lie. I'm not going to.
Thank you.
I agree.
You said there's women that come out and said I was raped.
What?
There are women on the record, on video, saying I
don't want to be that guy, but just because, just because a woman says that they were does not mean anymore, it seems like at least, that it's always, okay, she said it, it's true. I'm just saying. And I in no way am siding with the song here. I believe that it did happen, but I'm just saying, you know, fucking gray. Fuck it.
I was raped.
Like you're saying, you're saying there are multiple women that are on the record saying I was raped.
Correct.
There is, as far as I understand,
one
instance
course,
in captivity.
As far as you understand, because you don't give a fuck about the reality
directed by Hamas. What?
Well, of course, that's as far as you can conclude because you don't give a fuck about the truth. You just want to do propaganda. Remember?
Ethan.
Hasan, please calm down.
Okay.
You're getting worked up.
I don't know why you're.
Whoa.
Behaving in such a childish manner when we are actually talking about finally some serious stuff. Okay?
Well, you know. Okay.
Okay. In terms of the UN preliminary report and the findings, okay? There is a clear-cut lack of evidence for
any
forensic examination to take place due to the incompetence of the Israeli government and specifically the organization Zakah that spent most of its time in the immediate aftermath of October 7 taking bodies out of body bags and putting them into Zakah branded body bags. This was reported by Haaretz as well. They polluted the evidence pool. Okay? That's number one.
Hold on. I've had it with all of these damn looters and polluters.
One. Number two, numerous people that came out and offered eyewitness testimony have since then been discredited, also according to Haaretz reporting.
Which article?
What's
the Haaretz article that accuses victims of sexual assault of lying about it. Go ahead and link me that one. And by the way, while you look for that,
No, not victims of sexual assault, Ethan. I'm using my words very carefully.
Right.
Not
of course,
victims
I remember
of
you do
sexual
that.
assault. Not victims of sexual assault. Eyewitness testimony initially provided that led people to believe that there were sexual assaults that were taking place.
Show me the source.
Were then discredited.
Show me the source. By the way, Hasan, while you look for that, I'm assuming that you're quoting the UN Representative Secretary General on Sexual Violence and Conflicts report, right? This is one everyone refers to. Now, are you aware how these kind of papers work? They do a very precise conclusion at the end that summarizes the main
Right, sure.
points driven home in the article. That's what the conclusion is. Let me read it for you. Overall, based on the totality of information gathered from multiple and independent sources at different locations, there are reasonable grounds to believe that conflict-related sexual violence occurred at several locations across the Gaza periphery, including in the form of rape, gang rape, during the October 7th, 2023 attack. Credible, circumstantial information which may be indicative of some forms of sexual violence, including genital mutilation, sexualized torture, cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment was also gathered.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So I'm gonna walk you
Are
through
they
this real quick.
hallucinating?
No. So no, you just don't know what words mean. So credible circumstantial evidence. Do you know what that means?
It means that there's, yeah, of course.
Credible circumstantial evidence is not a substitute for forensic evidence. Credible
That's why I said
circumstantial
Pixar didn't
evidence
happen,
is
bro.
not
You need
enough
rape
to
kits.
prosecute.
Hasan needs
Credible
rape kits.
circumstantial evidence is not enough
Pixar
to
didn't happen, right?
prosecute rape, which is precisely the reason why the Israeli prosecutors themselves have said that in the absence of a singular victim coming out, and also with all of the forensic evidence that has been tarnished already.
Show me evidence for anything you're saying.
What?
That's not, show me evidence for anything you're claiming that isn't some unhinged freak on Twitter. Believe all
This is
women,
not an
hey?
unhinged freak on Twitter.
Hey, are we
This is,
believing all
again,
women
there's also
unless
an
they're
article that
Israeli?
you can-
Right after October 7th Hamas attack in Israel, Zaka, the disaster victim identification volunteers, were among the first civilians responding on the scene. Zaka is an Israeli rescue and recovery organization primarily staffed by ultra-Orthodox Jewish volunteers, known for their work in collecting human remains for proper burial according to Jewish law.
Sure.
I think what happened is, a lot of what happened is that, well, obviously you don't rape someone and then keep them alive, right? So most of them were murdered, and a lot of the forensic evidence...
I'm sending Dan the PBS article about how two debunked accounts of sexual violence on October 7th fueled a global dispute over Israel-Hamas war. This is from May 22nd, 2022. This is about the witness testimony that was discredited. Okay,
but so even if one account was discredited, there's many.
No, it's not one account; it's two accounts. But the rest
there's
of
way more than two accounts.
Go
What am I? What? Hey,
you-
Hasan, you know what you're doing? You're like, this girl lied about being raped, therefore all these women need to be questioned. That's actually what you're doing. You're saying
Ethan-
Pixar didn't happen. I don't believe
Ethan,
women if they're Israeli.
Can you point me to actual?
I think the counter, the other side of the coin on that argument is believe all women. It's a very serious accusation, and someone that accuses someone of that. Granted, I'm only speaking from, in the United States. If a woman accuses a man of this, you need to be able to prove that. But it should be taken seriously. So I don't know, how it works over there. But to just, I think this is like a common sense thing, right? Just because a woman says that she was raped does not mean you're just like, okay, she said it, he's guilty, that's the end of it. I'm very certain that there were people that were raped on October 7th, but you can't just go up to any woman. Were you? Yes. Okay, who? Get them. I don't know if that makes sense, but it does to me, so. Just my own personal opinion that can be agreed or disagreed with, that's fine.
To victims that came out.
Yes.
Because as far as I understand, Israeli police have asked victims and witnesses to testify about Hamas and sexual violence
I'll send
in
you.
the aftermath of October 7. and it seems like their investigations were inconclusive because by the admission of the Israeli
Show me
prosecution,
evidence of anything you're
that they
saying.
openly said that there were no victims that came out.
Yeah, let me guess. You read it on Haaretz.
You don't wait. Do you
No,
think that Haaretz is not a credible
No, it
institution
is, but
of
you
journalism
just
at this point?
no, but you guys lean on that. You just lie about what it says because
What do
it
you mean,
sounds
you guys?
credible.
Who is you guys?
You and all of your fucking dumbass cohorts that do the same typical like rhetorical tools
Cohorts.
to just say whatever the fuck you want without ever having to back it up or knowing what you're talking about in the least bit. So show me the evidence. Haaretz boy.
I sent
Swastika
debunked
boy.
narratives. Also, here is the Israeli prosecutor
Oh
Warren
my
Coates has
days.
acknowledged that 50 months after the events of October 7, 2023, Israel has still not identified any victims in which a case can be brought against an alleged perpetrator of a sexual attack.
They're all dead.
The admission is in line with a complete lack of any credible evidence regarding incidents of sexual violence,
all
which is
dead.
particularly notable when these claimed. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this foundation is, but there is news reporting on this. I don't know why
They're
someone
all
sent me
dead,
this link
bro.
of this.
Do you think what is your point? What you said doesn't change anything. You're talking about. Do you think
Ethan,
that they
where are the
raped people and then
victims?
didn't kill them?
You said
Okay, well then realistically, what do we do here? Okay, if they were screenshot. What do we do? You say, okay, man, A, B, and C did it. But victims 1 and 2 are dead. They said A, B, and C did it. They're dead. We have to just take their word. So they get them out of here. Get them out of here now. Can you do that? Is that how that works? Genuinely, is that what you do? Is it that you just say it and it's so? I don't. It's not so cut and dry. I would like to think. Shouldn't be. I'm not defending rape either. Fucking horrible. But it's just, I don't know where we go from there.
that there are victims. Can you give me the names of the victims?
Yes.
I will. First of all, I am not in the business of denying rape.
Are.
If there are, if there are victims that have come forward in this process,
I will play it for you.
As I've said, there was an instance of sexual assault that took place in captivity, and it was not the systematized rape that was directed by Hamas, as the New York Times' erroneous reporting that did not meet its own standard. It's
erroneous, another Harvard.
fact, written by a person who literally
erroneous felonious
was taken off the editorial board, taken off the actual paper for some of her insane tweets about Gaza. None of these, like, there's a lot of stories surrounding this, but I'm not in the business of fucking denying rape. So if you have
only if there's
credible
really.
evidence, please present it, and I will admit that I'm wrong. Give me the names.
Yeah. There's a video. Hold on.
Is the video from Screams Without Violence? Is that where you're
No.
Is that where you're gonna present?
No, it's not from that. There's one recently of a woman testifying. I think it was either in the UN or to Congress. She's sitting on a bench. She's talking
Congress?
to me, and she's speaking in English.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get there. But like, yeah, I mean, what's your problem with Sheryl Sandberg's documentary?
He's never
Sheryl
seen
Sandberg has also been accused of sexual harassment herself, but outside of that,
What the fuck does that have to do with what's written in her documentary?
Her documentary is basically the unsubstantiated claims that some of which were directly found to be incorrect.
This is erroneous.
Correct. But not only is it unsubstantiated claims, it's just a recycling of the same Screams Without Violence, the Screams Without Words article that the New York Times wrote that didn't even meet its own editorial standard. Okay? We're having this conversation. You seemingly act like you care about sexual violence taking place against Israelis. Meanwhile, one of the hostages that actually was returned in the early stages did get raped by an Israeli fitness instructor.
You know,
I have not seen you talk about that. I have not seen you talk
why
about
would I
the
talk
Israeli
about
pro-rape
a crime
riots
that
took
an
place.
Israeli did unrelated to the conflict?
Israel
Do you find
had
it
a
interesting?
January
There's something
6th
that I
style. Israel had a
Fair
January
enough point.
6th style pro-rape riot where a bunch of rabid right-wing.
Do you think I'm defending this? Why you? I'm not defending
went to
this.
the prosecutor's office and forcibly, with guns, took out 6 concentration camp prison guards from the Sede Taman facility that had actually raped numerous Palestinians on camera.
Are you done grandstanding?
Footage,
Here's a
including
victim.
One that they raped to
Are
death.
you done? Here's a victim you asked for. Here we go. This is from.
Fucking hell. How courageous and honest to be able to horrors of her captivity.
I think there was an even more recent one than this, but where's the audio? Fuck. Hold on, let me unmute.
Unable to move and had to ask for permission to use the bathroom.
Okay.
In that house, I was sexually assaulted by the Hamas terrorist who had guarded me. He forced me to go to the shower and entered the room, pointed his gun at me. He was breathing heavily and had a monstrous beast-like face. He meticulously planned his assault, scheming and waiting for the moment to have his way. He kept asking me private sexual questions while sitting next to me in his underwear, lifting my shirt, touching me, and constantly asking me when my period would be over.
Sorry, just to butt in here. Is she lying yet or no? Is she lying or hallucinating?
Ethan, have I ever said that rapes did not take place?
Well,
at least according to one credible personal testimony in captivity, not on October 7, but in captivity?
Kind of, yeah. Yes.
Over.
You're doing it right now.
What do you mean?
I knew
kind
exactly
of?
what he was planning to do.
You literally
and yet I couldn't do
featured-
anything to prevent
Wait, pause it for a second.
No.
I was
Listen to what she
utterly
has to say,
helpless.
Hassan.
When the
Ethan,
assault
I
was
don't
over,
Hassan, don't
disagree with
silence
this.
her.
You
Let her fucking
literally
talk.
wasn't even allowed
No,
to
because you're acting like this never happened, that it's exaggerated, that
mentioning my
everybody's lying,
acknowledgement
that
in the
Israelis
video
are just
that you
inherently
played.
evil monsters that are responsible for everything bad that's ever
Ethan,
happened.
you
Listen to her.
acknowledged-
cry
Ethan,
or to be
you
sad.
Listen to her
know.
words.
I had no one to comfort me and was forced to act nice
Listen to
the person who had
my
just
words.
sexually
Listen to this
assaulted
victim.
me
Show her
in the
some
most
respect, Hassan.
horrifying way.
Oh, it's so
Jesus,
gross.
my
Not a day
God.
goes by that I don't
A
think about what
little.
that terrible man did to
It
me.
is. You're.
We were held
you're
in such
Show
inhuman
respect, bro.
conditions.
brother. That
no
is fucking
no person
gross.
should ever be subjected
Dan,
to
pull
such
the
brutal
fucking
and
plug on
ruthless
this. Holy
treatment.
shit.
Now,
You really have no problem speaking over a rape victim when they're Israeli.
Dude, you don't give a fuck about rape. Look, what are you doing? Look at what you're doing.
I'm
never said
kind of
that
on
no one
Hassan's
ever got
side with
sexually
this
assaulted in
specific
Turkey.
incident of him saying that it's gross. Yeah. On this specific. Right there. One instance, that one. So, you know. I don't think Hasan gives a shit, but in this moment, I don't think Ethan does either. Because he's trying to paint him. He's using the woman speaking to paint Hasan as the evil one.
In the video,
A man who was stripped naked and raped by Hamas on October 7th has revealed for the first time how he was spat on and humiliated as his murderous rapist laughed.
And he didn't call it context, people. So he actually called it by its name. Hasan's opening up with his Mountain Dew scarf.
The victim, only identified as Initial D, is the first man to speak about the sexual assault he and others experienced when Hamas elite the Nakba unit massacred, kidnapped, and raped innocent people enjoying the Supernova music festival. They pin you down to the ground. You try to resist. They take off your clothes, laugh at you, humiliate you, spit on you. Said the victim, who's hold on.
Okay, listen to me. Listen to my words.
They touch my
very
private
carefully,
parts. They
because
rape
you're not going through this in a dignified way, and I think it's very gross. What you're doing here is simply weaponizing a victim
you are so
as a
pathetic.
fucking prop. A victim that I also acknowledged. Okay?
Silence.
And you know
In
I
new
acknowledged
footage,
it because you.
These guys are both kind of scumbags, it seems. If we're being honest, like. But, yeah.
Posted it in your video that
Here it
you
is.
just showed me.
Here's the clip.
reveals that sexual assault and rape was a regular component of the life as a hostage in Gaza.
Doesn't matter if fucking rapes happened on October 7th.
Hasan, maybe you would like to call her a liar. Please, go right ahead.
You're doing
Doesn't
it
matter
again
if
in the
fucking
video,
rapes happened
on October 7th.
There are dozens of testimonies from witnesses, most of who were
Dozens
in
of
hiding
testimonies.
and heard.
Oh,
or
yeah. Ethan,
Are you
in the
denying
beginning,
that?
You said,
And each-
in the beginning, I'm going to use my words very carefully
there's
here.
more
In the
stories
beginning,
coming
you
out.
said
There's
on
a
October
UN
7th,
report.
there were numerous victims of sexual violence that you said, not me, you said that there were numerous victims of sexual violence that actually came forward. So I ask you for names of the numerous victims of sexual violence
Showing you
on
people.
October 7th. Because
wait, hold on,
I
hold on,
never
hold on.
said that
You're
there
saying
was no.
only-
It's just getting
What?
bogged down in
You're
semantics.
saying they have to have been on
It's
October.
nitpicking.
I looked at that same UN report and said that there was valid, credible, firsthand testimony on sexual assault.
I
that
wish
took
you
place
had the
in
energy
captivity.
you
That
have
was not on October
for
7th.
the Israelis raping people. As I wish you had the same energy for the fucking Palestinian terrorists raping people. I wish you had the same energy.
I can't invent rapes. You have not given me any names. What are
I'm
you
showing
talking
you
about?
people and names. What do you mean? It's
What do you
so
mean, what's with
vile
my
to
people
deny
and
the
names?
suffering
I don't
and trauma of
understand.
the victim.
If there are
Just
victims,
because you need your heroes.
said
You know
believe
what?
women.
This is not going anywhere. Let's just move on. Yeah, let's just.
What do you mean? You can't just
I mean, I
let's just
gave you
move
two.
on.
Oh.
This is a major point of contention. You have
Buzzword, buzzword, buzzword.
me as a rape denier when you yourself, the one evidence
You deny mass rapes happened, and you're doing it right now.
The instance of sexual
I showed
violence in
two. I just
captivity
showed you
that
two.
we know of up until this
Just
point.
showed you two.
You and I both agree on.
I showed you
know
two.
that I agree with that. You
Yeah,
know
in
that I've thought about
fairness,
it.
I
You know
mean-
that
You
I've
deny mass
acknowledged
rapes
it,
happened.
and yet
not
Shut
that
up.
rapes happened.
So what it seems like is that, Ethan's presenting something to fit his narrative, and Hasan's countering it, saying, I said this specific thing, but you're saying I denied all of it. Which Hasan's done to Ethan as well. So it's just, that fuck it, context. Jesus. These two are insufferable.
What?
You deny that mass rapes happen, not that rapes
Yes.
happen. Listen to my words.
Yes, I do.
Okay,
I do
good.
deny
Well, there
it
you go.
Because there is no evidence. And
I just
for the
showed you
record,
two.
The clips that you used, ironically
Actually, I
enough,
showed
the
you
reason why I say
three.
it's out of context is because at that point, I personally took a position where I said very carefully and very deliberately that mass rapes that are directed by Hamas did not happen. There was no evidence for this whatsoever.
Four
Okay?
survivors told authorities they were sexually assaulted on October 7th. Report. First-hand account of such crimes have been rare, as most
And
victims
not
were
only-
killed. Hassan. Report
Do you
follows
feel-
earlier
Wait, wait, wait,
testimony
wait,
from a
wait,
man
okay.
who said he was raped by terrorists at the Nova Festival. 4 people have told authorities that they were sexually assaulted by terrorists on October 7th. Channel 12 reports. On Thursday, adding to a growing body of evidence of the systemic sexual assault committed by Hamas. Unlike most of the previous evidence of sexual assault on October 7th, which was largely based on eyewitness testimony, the Channel 12 report is notable because it is based on first-hand accounts of victims.
Okay, so I don't know what Hasan's going to say here next, but it seems like Ethan got him. But we'll see, I suppose.
Yawn all you want. First-hand testimony of such
yawning.
crimes has been rare because the victims have been
I'm
killed.
fucking yawning too.
Killed. Dipshit.
Okay, Ethan,
They
do you
fucking
think
kill
when
them.
someone-
According to the
do
report,
you
4
think-
individuals approached the
Do you think
welfare
when
minister
someone is
with their
murdered
account.
that there is
Sorry,
no
Hassan.
way to actually examine?
Sorry, talk about
Do you
being
think that when-
gross.
do
Listen
you
to
think
these
that
victims.
when someone is murdered, there's no way to do forensics evidence
Bro,
to actually
you know
conclude,
the fucking answer to that.
actually conclude
Because
that that person
you know
was
that
sexually
Jews,
assaulted.
you know that the religious organization that is first responders that you cited has a policy of burying the bodies to avoid disgracing them. That's
Ethan, you
what
just
happened.
said dozens of victims came out in that
I'm
article,
reading
and I
you.
don't know
What are
where
you
that article
doing,
is
bro?
from.
I'm
If you said
showing you the
dozens of
evidence
victims
that
came
you're
out
wrong
in that
right
article.
now. According to the report, 4 individuals approached the welfare ministry with their accounts of what happened to them during the Hamas onslaught, which saw blah, 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 12...
Blah, blah, blah.
1,200 people killed and 250...
So, what Hasan just said about him just using them as props.
Four individuals approached the welfare ministry with their account of what happened to
Well,
them during
this
the
is
Hamas
probably what you'd say
onslaught.
if you were using them as props.
1,200 people killed and 250 kidnapped. The report followed a separate Channel 12 story on Wednesday that provided first-hand testimony from a man who said he was raped by terrorists at the Supernova, where hundreds of people were killed. Are these all lying?
Yeah,
These
blah,
are,
blah,
there are
blah.
5 people here. There's 3 that approached the ministry and 1 man who said he was raped. Are these all liars?
I don't know. I don't think they are. I have
Okay,
no
so then what
reason
the
to believe
fuck
that
is
they
your
are.
point?
But from everything that I have seen, from everything that I've read on this, and I have read extensively on this, as far as forensic examination has been concluded, there is no evidence, no hard evidence of sexual assault. And I will give you a
just
clip
read
from
4
a Haaretz article
This is so
that was
exhausting, bro.
posted by
Uh-oh,
Lisa
here comes the
Razal.
No, you're
Haaretz
telling
article.
me.
I
Wait,
just
why are
read you
you
first-hand
discounting?
testimony
I'm
of
using-
4 people. What are you doing? You're saying that you're not believing the victims.
Ethan,
You're asking
it's
for
not that I'm
pics or
not-
it didn't happen.
It's not that I'm not believing
Where
the
are they? You
victims.
said,
I'm
where's their
saying that-
bodies?
Hey, you know this conversation that they started? 20. Bless you, thank you. Oh, fuck. 30 minutes ago? Yeah, we're just starting
Pics or
over
didn't
again.
happen?
You have mentioned since
You're
the thing
saying
that
pics
you
or it
mentioned,
didn't happen,
okay?
right?
Since the article that you mentioned came out, there have been further prosecutions on this. Why have they not led to any real prosecution?
They're dead. They're
No, that's
fucking
not-
dead, you moron. What do you mean?
First-hand testimony
So, in theory, then. Oh, wait.
in this
They
regard.
killed all the fucking Hamas operatives in
You?
Israel.
I killed them?
What? What are you?
Why are you saying
okay?
you killed them?
I said they. Why the fuck would I say you killed them? That's insanely stupid. Are you okay? Hallucinating. Are you crashing out? Go ahead.
Maybe I misheard you. I'm pretty sure you said you killed them.
Sometimes
Did he?
Insanely.
Are you
Are
saying
you Hamas on? What do you mean?
First-hand testimony in this
They
regard.
killed all the fucking Hamas What do you mean?
First-hand testimony in this
They
regard.
killed all the fucking Hamas operatives in
You?
Israel.
It sounded like he started to say you and then switched, like, to they. Like, you say? Yay! Yeah, I can see where, fuck. I hate both of them.
I'm pretty sure you said you killed them.
Sometimes when you're under stress, you can miss.
That's why I can be unbiased,
It might be.
because I don't like either of
My
them.
mistake.
I don't like
I
most
have
people,
you
to be fair.
on much lower volume because my
I like
volume is
Asmund.
very
Okay,
low,
fair
so
enough.
it does-
I guess.
Fair enough.
part of
It was
the
a
reason why-
misunderstanding.
That's part of the reason why I do ask over and over again what you're saying.
That's fine. I understand. I want people to hear what we're saying, so that's totally fair.
If you're
Do you-
saying,
are you
if
done,
you're
or you wanna
saying
keep
he's
going?
gaslighting you, just clip it and send it to me, chat. It's that simple. Okay. And if you probably said it by mistake, even if you did, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, we done with this one?
Okay. No, we're not. We're not done with this
Okay,
at all.
Go ahead.
Because
I mean, I
you're-
just read 4
Because the
first-hand,
question I have for you, is very simple. Okay.
Oh, if I said you, I misspoke. That's my bad. By the way, I may have
Okay,
actually said
it's
you.
fine. It's fine.
I apologize.
You misspoke.
I didn't
don't
mean that.
care.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
I just want to make sure.
Let's get back to the actual main point of contention here.
The
Bingo.
Pixar didn't
There
happen.
have been no rape allegations filed in the October 7 attacks. Not one. Okay? And this is from
So what?
Ynet, speaking to Moran Gatz, who
gives a
I
fuck?
posted about earlier. Moran Gatz is the Southern District Prosecutor's Office in Israel. Okay?
Thank you for clarifying
He was
that.
or she was
I
a
didn't
member
know.
of the Team 7110,
Yeah, woman.
responsible for cases involving captured Palestinians in connection with the October 7th attacks. On investigations related to sexual violence, she says, in the end, we don't have any complainants. What was presented in the media compared to what will eventually come together will be entirely different, either because the victims were murdered, okay, this is what they're saying, or because women who were raped aren't willing to expose it. That she excludes here another explanation, says Dropsite News, that no rapes occurred. We approached women's rights organizations and asked for cooperation. They told us that no one had approached them. There were parents who reached out to organizations asking what to do if something happened to their daughter, but they didn't reveal the abuse. So the question I have for you is this. Okay? The question I have for you is this. What am I supposed to do in the situation when there are no victims that have come forward?
4 victims just gave
speculation is that
firsthand
the
testimony.
victims
I read it to
probably
you.
died, but there's no forensic examination.
Pixar didn't
There has
happen.
been no justice for these victims in
Pixar didn't
Israel
happen.
on October 7 due to the fact that the government completely
I'm crack open a root
ruined.
beer.
Okay. The government completely ruined any sort of forensic examination that could have taken place. There is no way
For
to
firsthand-
actually.
are you
there is no
actually,
way
like-
to actually bring justice to these
Holy
victims.
fuck.
Your assessment on this is so off base.
Hasan, are you
because
listening?
You think
4
you
firsthand
think-
victims. I just read it to you.
Okay, but
Let's.
what
You know
I'm
what?
giving
Let's,
you
you're
is
right.
the Israeli
You know what,
prosecutor's
Hasan? You're
office
right. Let's
own
err on the side of these
If there are
victims
victims
lying.
then, why are
Let's
there-
err
why
on the
have
side.
they
No,
not-
you're totally right. This is the progressive way. Let's err on the side of these people lying instead of believing them. Let's do that. And yeah,
No,
they're all
I'm
lying.
not saying that they're lying. I'm telling
Yes, you are.
my confusion on this comes from the fact that
It's not confusing.
while-
It's obvious.
while
Most of this
previous
shit
reporting-
happened. Were killed,
while
and it's a
previous
religious.
reporting came
It's a
out-
religious
while
part of
previous
this
reporting
first
came
responding
out-
unit that they bury the bodies immediately to avoid humiliating them. It's all explainable.
What?
Yes. If you don't know that, then you are like woefully misinformed. Which just
Dude, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Oh, it doesn't matter. There has to be a forensic examination.
Pixar didn't happen. They bury the
No,
body.
no, not Pixar. It didn't happen. You don't think that
They
think that the
buried the
victims deserve justice?
bodies.
What's wrong with you? You don't think these
Justice.
victims deserve justice?
This
Why
is
did
so
Israel
stupid. Can we please
refuse
move on?
an outside investigative committee?
How do you
to
explain these 4
actually,
accusers?
Under normal circumstances,
How do you explain
the
these
United
4
Nations
accusers?
or a third party,
How do you
third party
explain
will come
these
in
4
and conduct an
accusers?
investigation?
How do you explain the 4 accusers?
I don't know.
Okay,
Why,
very
How
good.
do you explain
Well,
the
let's err on the
prosecutor
side of them
after those
lying.
4 accusers? My information is more relevant because it's new. It's newer. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't.
guess we're at an
can't
impasse
speak
here.
out.
I mean, listen,
cannot-
Hasan, we're at an
I cannot
impasse. Can we move on?
disprove something that I don't know about when the prosecutor, do you think the Israeli Southern District prosecutor actually did not examine the testimony given by these victims?
If you don't know what happened in the 4 accusers, why are you speaking so confidently?
Because I'm
Because
speaking
you're a liar.
about
You're a
something that came
propagandist,
out
and you fucking
after
hate
that.
Israelis.
Both of you lie.
Can we move on, please?
What?
This is obviously at an impasse.
No.
Oh
no.
my God! I'm
This is
just
very
trying to
important.
consider the audience. Everybody wants something else. I'm telling you, dude. This is
You
exhausting.
have claimed falsely that
No,
I do not
I've-
recognize the testimony of a sexual assault that took place in captivity.
Yes.
That was false.
Yep,
Do you
it was
admit
false.
that?
Yep, she lied. It was false, etc.
No.
Oh my God.
It's a falsehood that you.
Oh. I almost knocked my Dr. Pepper over. I would have fucking rage. Cannot spill a nectar. No, honestly, I tuned out with it. Whatever they've been saying for like the last 2 minutes. I don't know how anyone could make it through this long and actually not have a mental break. Like, or a mental breakdown. Either one is, that's fine. Both apply. Or one applies. It's a weird place to put your gun. That's all I'm gonna say.
Claim that I don't recognize that. Do you admit that?
Yes, 100%. Can we
So
move on?
you're- Wait, so you're admitting that
Honestly,
you
I'm kinda-
falsely smeared me as someone who is denying a verified.
Yeah, we'll
Fine.
just,
It's
I'm
not
good
that
on
big of a
that.
What are
deal.
you implying
All right.
here? What are you implying with this
It's the
photo?
same thing back and forth.
What
over and
photo?
over.
Oh, with the photo.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's begin. This is going to finally cause us to talk about Israel-Palestine.
Bro, just explain what you're
By
trying to
your own
say.
admission, there is a genocide that is taking place in the Gaza Strip. By your own admission, there is also an apartheid structure both in the West Bank, but I don't think you believe that there's an apartheid happening within Israel proper by your own terms.
I don't think
Do
it's.
you
I don't.
feel-
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So do you feel as though Israel is somehow inseparable?
I just want to point out that this person right here, the environmental egalitarian, but also a day one Elon hater, I'm willing to bet this person really liked Elon when he first came out with Teslas, because, it's great. But now, I'm just saying.
inseparable from both of these actions?
No, but obviously the conditions are different in Israel.
Willing to
proper
bet.
versus the
Not
West
saying
Bank
for
and
sure,
Gaza.
just
like
you
West.
feel
I
like
mean, the
you
West
going
Bank
to
has
Israel
checkpoints. It has
amidst
like
a-
different areas of zones of interest. People don't have freedom of movement, so obviously that's more apartheid-like than the main body of Israel.
Yeah. Don't you feel like you going to Israel proper would actually resemble someone going to, you know, someone going near Auschwitz and being like, well, it's actually beautiful there. It's
Not at all.
that big of a deal.
No.
It's multicultural. Oh, you don't see the comparison.
Well, I mean,
Well,
where
Jonathan
Israel?
Glazer,
You
who
mean in Tel
made
Aviv?
this-
So you're saying
Jonathan
that?
Glazer, who made this video, Jonathan Glazer, who made this Oscar-winning movie, does see the comparison.
So hold on, your
He
criticism.
said as much.
You're
in
saying
his Oscar
all I
award,
said was my
winning
lived
speech.
experience in Israel proper. Is the problem that Israel proper? That sounds racist or something?
No, I think you're trying to present Israel as a beautiful multicultural land when it is directly doing a genocide across the border boundary,
Yeah.
okay? And
Yeah,
also
I
is
make
an
a distinction.
apartheid on a good day.
Yeah, I make a distinction for sure.
You can't
I mean, I lived
compartmentalize
there for
Israel
5
proper
years in Tel
from
Aviv.
the crimes that is happening 6 miles away, Ethan. That's my point. So
6 miles from
saying-
where I live in Tel Aviv?
Bro, I'm sorry, but I once lived somewhere. It was in where was it? Actually, it's Boca? Was it Boca Raton in Florida? No. Yeah, was it? No, Fort Lauderdale. Doesn't matter. I lived in a couple of places in Florida. Most recently, Indian Rocks Beach. Point being, I lived somewhere and in the backyard, there was a chain link fence. I shit you not. I went out one day and I was looking, I'm like, oh my god, it looks like rain, eh? Stuck my hand over the chain link fence. My hand started getting wet. It was raining on the other side of the fence. Nothing I can do about it. This is probably a bad comparison. Nothing I can do about it, but that's not going to stop me from trying to have a decent day because it's raining on the other side. That's a real bad example, but hey. I've seen, whether they're accurate or not, videos of people in the Ukraine living it up at night. There's a war going on. What? In the next city? Just, I don't know if I like the argument. I'm also not political.
6 miles
so.
from
I
what?
don't know how many miles away it is from
It's a lot
exactly
further
where
than
you
6
live in Tel
miles.
Aviv.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know how many miles away it is. That's not the point. It's
No, so
close
you're
enough that you can see it. If you go to Sderot, you can watch it.
The
They call
point
it
you're
the night
making is
cinema.
that everybody living in Israel is living next to a concentration camp.
Yes.
So,
death camp.
and so I said, bro really said my lived experience in Israel proper, and you're saying that I am a Nazi officer living casually and enjoying life as people are.
No, you're not directly a Nazi officer.
Well, that's what this says.
No, Ethan, you're taking it a
Brother,
little bit too literally. I
examples.
think the point there with that imagery is not that it's a
Why
Nazi
did you choose the
officer,
one with the
is
guy
that-
standing in it?
Well, I'm actually interpreting the work of art in the exact same way that Jonathan Glazer, who made this piece of cinema, interpreted it.
Oh, is this like one of those Houthi music videos or whatever?
Have a wonderful life as an American Jew in Israel. Of course you can have a wonderful life in Israel. That's the point, because Israel is a ethno-religious supremacist apartheid state that is currently doing a genocide. It is the entire underlying principle of why this nation state was founded. That's what it was founded on. It was founded on the extermination of you seemingly agree to. So yes, if you actually think Israel is doing a genocide, then it comes across as rather odd that you would go to Israel to show how multifaceted and how wonderful Israel is.
I mean, yeah,
it would
in
be
Tel Aviv-
exactly like someone
yeah, I mean,
saying, "Oh, you don't understand. I'm German. I am going to Poland. I'm going to go to Warsaw. I'm going to go to Auschwitz.
It's
and
not
I'm
the
gonna show
same at
you
all, dude.
How
It's
wonderful
so
Auschwitz looks like
Can
because it's
okay,
German
thank you
territory."
okay, I lived in Tel Aviv. I worked beside Palestinians. I worked with them. I took the bus with them. I walked around the streets with them. I went to the restaurants. They worked with me in my businesses. It's not what people expect. That's my point. You don't see.
Yeah, that would be lying. That would be lying to your audience about
lived
the
there for 5
actual
years.
totality of Israel. You want to talk about my totality of anti-Semitism inferred off of like hyper specific narrow definitions that you have invented in your mind? Talk about the totality of a country that you recognize is doing genocide. You think it's appropriate? You think it's appropriate to go to Israel while there is a fucking genocide going on?
I mean,
by your own
you did a
admission
show with me and you
show
consider me
how
your friend, and you knew that I was
multifaceted
apparently a
and
Nazi
beautiful
officer
Israel
that whole
proper
time.
is? What?
I said you were considering me a friend. You did a show with me. You knew I lived in Israel that whole time. I'm surprised you were
Yes.
willing to work with a Nazi
I
officer.
also have interviewed members of the Knesset, as
All
a
right.
matter of fact, like Ofer Kasif. I
And
have
who's the
interviewed
terrorist?
Israelis from the anti-Zionist youth movement Mezarvot, Israeli members. Israeli Jewish citizens that have refused service, refused NICS. I don't have an issue with
agree
people
with
that
you.
have
I don't know
lived
what
in
you're going on
Israel.
about.
Some of the reason why I know the total and utter depravity of the inception of Israel comes from Exeter University's very own Ilan Pape. His writings are what guide me. Of course, I don't have
Elon Pape? My heart goes out to you.
an issue with people that have lived in Israel
All right, can I
and
respond?
no longer live in Israel, or even still
Can I
live in
respond?
Israel, as a matter of fact.
Would
As
you
long
like
as
me to
they
respond?
are anti-Zionist, because I care about Zionism
Bro,
as an
you're just
ideology.
gish-galloping. Just
I
let
do
me
not care
respond. My
about
God.
Jewish
You don't need to
people or
grandstand so
Israeli
long. Just
people.
let me
These are
respond.
not a part of my consideration, because I believe in the best of people. I believe that people, regardless
Jesus
of the
Christ,
circumstances
bro.
that they've been
Let me
presented with,
respond.
can see right from wrong.
Okay, very
and I
good.
thought foolishly that you were one of these people.
Very
I
good.
foolishly thought you could also see right from wrong. But it's obvious to me that you have simply used what is going on for the past 16 months
Bro,
of horrific
do you want me to
mass
respond?
bombing and starvation.
Hassan, you got
as
to
a
you got to
tool
stop.
to
You got to
present
stop
yourself
with the
as a
fucking
victim.
with the gish galloping. I know.
This
You're
is not a
righteous
gish
and I'm
gallop.
evil.
I'm explaining
Let
to
me
you my
respond.
position.
Let me respond. I agree with you. I think that my characterization of it as a utopia, like in that moment, was distasteful, and I wish that I had said that differently. And I see that it came off
Thank
bad.
you.
It came off bad, and I was wrong on that one. I totally agree. Watching that clip
Thank
back,
you.
I'm regretful about how I spoke about it.
See,
So
that's
I agree with you.
progress. There can be progress made.
That's fair. See, this is. I wish you were this open-minded for the past 16 months, Ethan, because I feel like a lot of the conversation.
You could probably say the same about you, Hasan, you dope.
Palestine. My problem is
Fucking
with the
dick.
community and the harassment you've leveled against me and my
Ethan,
family.
people make inferences off of what you say. They do not know what's in your heart. Okay, and this is something that I
agree on a
privately,
lot of
things. Accurate.
something that
The
I
issue is the
privately
harassment.
talked to you about in the beginning after October 7. I told you time and time again privately.
Okay, bro, you've
that
talked a
the
lot.
reason
Let's
why
just
people
move on,
think
please.
you are behaving like a. The reason why people think you are a Zionist is not because you're Jewish, but because of what you're saying. They
What did
heard
I
your
say that's
output,
Zionist?
and they made these
What have I
inferences
ever
off of
said
your
that
output.
shows that I'm Zionist?
Ethan, the way that you have tackled the subject matter.
Say
well,
one thing that has shown the world, undoubtedly, how Zionist I am. That
I mean,
I
you
am
just-
worthy of the scorn of you
personally
and the
just
entire
recognized
left.
how wrong that was.
What did I
you
s-
just said.
Okay,
So that's
but
one.
does
that's
that
one
mean I'm a
example.
Zionist? I mean, and by the way, that was a recent clip. That doesn't explain the last 2 years.
Yes, it doesn't.
So
And
what
there's
did I
plenty
say in
there
the
as
last 2
well.
years
There's
besides that
plenty there
clip?
as well.
What did I say, Hassan?
recently-
What did I say
as
that's
recently
Zionist?
as last month.
You can't
as
give me
recently as
one
last
fucking
He's
month.
trying
contextual
to
example of me
fuck
saying
up.
something that's Zionist after this
Yes.
entire. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
You have something?
I have many things.
List
As recently
one.
as last month. As recently as
List
last month.
one
you-
example of me saying
No,
something
I'm giving you another
Zionist.
example. Just calm down and listen. As recently
But
as
you're not
last
answering
month,
my question.
you
You're just
talked
doing
about
this
how
gish galloping.
Hamas is actually putting hostages inside of hospitals. Hamas is actually using tunnel systems under hospitals, and that is part of the reason why Israel is bombing hospitals. Bombing hospitals is a war crime. Okay, bombing hospitals is a war crime. In your
I don't defend that.
conversation with Sam Cedar, while on the one hand you now recognize that Israel's doing a genocide, and you have in the past as well, for sure. But you've also
Consistently.
gone back and forth on it, and you've
Absolutely
called it a
not.
war or
Never.
whatever. But having said that, in your conversation with Sam Cedar, you thought you had a gotcha where you said that, well, I find it very strange that there's not a single bomb shelter in Gaza.
That's a condemnation of Hamas.
What?
That is a condemnation of Hamas.
I think it's a
To
condemnation
protect
of your assessment of reality.
How is that pro-Zionist?
Look at the Gaza Strip.
So is that entire place just a PvE server? Like, it's just the fucking wilds and RuneScape, basically. PvP, PvE, whatever.
How is
Do
me
you think a
criticizing
bomb
Hamas
shelter would
pro-Zionist?
actually
Would you like to explain
survive?
that?
Do you think a bomb shelter would actually survive bunker buster bombs?
It'd be a
what
lot
are you
fucking
talking
safer
about?
than
There's not a
the
standing structure
7th
remaining in
floor
most
of an
parts
apartment
Gaza.
building.
For Israel to actually systematically destroy
You're
every
okay with
hospital
Hamas
implies
spending the
that a bomb
totality?
shelter would
Can I
just
ask you a
simply be
question?
fucking crosshairs.
Can I please ask you a question?
Unlikely.
Again, me criticizing Hamas makes me a Zionist?
You criticizing Hamas makes you a Zionist?
That's what you're claiming.
I mean, it depends on how. It depends on what you're saying. Yes.
Well, you know exactly
You
what
can-
I said.
You can have criticisms of Hamas in terms of like their own internal domestic affairs, in terms of their governance. But if that's your hyper focus, then yes, people are going to make that inference that you are definitely against.
Because
any kind of resistance against the state of Israel.
Because they don't
the
make bomb
Palestinians-
shelters?
Because your expectation,
Because they
your
don't make bomb
expectation from the
shelters?
Palestinians is to just simply sit there and take it so you can fucking act like you felt bad 10 years down the line.
Everything that you claim, the whole fucking apparatus of harassment that exists across social media with you at the center of it, it infringes on an inference that you maybe meant this. I have never once said I'm Zionist. The only reason people believe that is because you repeat it maliciously
No, the reason why
time
people
and time.
There's the only reason I've ever heard Ethan called a Zionist is because he either says, Ethan himself, it's like, yeah, Hasan calls me a Zionist, or I've seen clips of Hasan calling him a Zionist. It's the only time I've ever heard of it. But I have a limited exposure, so just, unbiased 2 cents out there. Giggity.
That is because of your hyper focus
Name
on
one.
you, and your distractions
makes me a Zionist?
away,
That
and
makes
your
me a Zionist?
deliberate deplatforming attempts towards pro-Palestinian content creators.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous.
Being pro-Palestine doesn't
simply
absolve
say
you of guilt.
You recognize the genocide, but you also literally
Criticism.
get mad at people who fight back. You get
So
mad
I'm
at the
public
Houthis.
enemy
You
number
call them
one
terrorists. You call
for defending
Hezbollah a terror
myself.
group.
They
which is,
are.
by the American state's definition, absolutely considered a terror group. But there are plenty of terror groups that have
Hold on. Do you not
successfully
consider Hezbollah a
resisted
terror group?
against American imperialism and
Do,
other
do you
forms
not
of settler
consider
colonial violence?
Do you not consider Hezbollah a terrorist group?
I think the definition of terrorism by the American State Department is intentionally vague to deny
What about
people
the-
their habeas corpus, deny people their due process. It is there to justify whatever kind of militant action that the American government can take.
Hezbollah-
This is a severe violation
You
of
want-
the
Okay, very
American
good.
Constitution. So
Hassan,
yes,
please, I
I
wanna
think
have a-
that this
Can you?
definition is
Can I give you?
intentionally
Can I
vague and
ask?
it's
Can I
fucking
request something?
is silly.
Can I ask? Can I please request something? I'm interested in having a conversation. You take this and you just go on and on and on and on. You repeat yourself. You double down on the same point. I just want to have a conversation. You make your point and then you move on. You're doing too much. Please. We're gonna be
The
here.
American terrorism designation is silly. Do we agree?
I don't know. But do you,
What do you mean? But you,
well, here I'll be
but
more
you
precise.
use its definition without
No,
ever actually
You're
thinking
right.
about
Fuck
it. What do you
Let
mean?
me be more precise. Here's what you said.
Hezbollah is a paramilitary organization.
Do we like them or no?
They are a terrorist organization. Like they're designated. They are designated by the American state as a terrorist organization.
I do not like them then.
Well, like
I like what you like.
I don't have an issue with them. Let's just say
That's a fucking sheep if I ever done seen.
Okay, Leah, thank you for asking.
You're
Exactly. All right, let me explain. I do not have a single issue with the way that Hezbollah has defended southern Lebanon.
Fun fact. Whenever, like, I get home from work and I see my dog, I used to always go, "Hi, Baba, hi, Baba," right? And then somewhere like right before all this shit started, I just started going Hazabullah, Hazabullah, and then I didn't even know what Hezbollah was at the time, or if they were a thing. But I think I started doing that probably like 6 years ago, maybe 7. So now, like when I see him, I'm just like Hezbollah, and now I'm just calling my dog a terrorist, I guess. Oops.
Lebanon.
Me neither,
I do not have a single issue with Hezbollah as a form of militancy trying to incur penalties on the genocidal state of Israel. Because if you recognize that it is a genocide, then what is the expectation from other parties involved in the region? The very fact that other countries, other countries are not also up in arms is ridiculous. Consider
Ethan, my dude, listen. You worked with this guy. You've seen how much of this guy's shite. You know what he's like. You can't have him. You can't talk to him, have him for an interview or debate or whatever the fuck this slop is, and not expect him to be the way he is. It's madness. It's heresy. Arguing about politics, in my personal experience, I don't like to talk about them. I don't say what I am and am not for. So I'm not going to change anybody's mind, and most of the time no one's going to change mine. It rarely, I feel like, ever works, because it always just ends with one side screaming at the other, and then the other side screaming at the first side. But hey, crucify me. Build a cross, nail me the fuck up on it. I don't know.
That Israel is a belligerent force that is destroying everything in the fucking region because it has an underlying exterminationist policy. And you agree with that because it's a genocide. You said it's a genocide.
All right,
so what is
Hasan,
the expectation?
Please, this conversation is becoming impossible if you don't just stop talking for a minute and allow me to respond. Okay?
Now respond.
Shit.
Hezbollah, when it was first founded, I think was a noble thing, right, of defending Lebanon from the IDF invasion, and they were successful in sending them back to Israel. Now, since then, a lot of terrible shit has happened, right? And you sat there and you said, I do not have a problem with them. So do you not have a problem with what Hezbollah did in Syria, mass murdering civilians on the behest of Assad?
Can you find a single instance where I've actually...
Where are my flapjacks? You recall last night, ere I drift off to slumber, with a pillow betwixt my legs, I spake thusly.
Where I've actually said I have no problem with Hezbollah's actions in Syria?
You said I don't have a problem with Hezbollah.
No, that specifically.
You know what's so funny?
Do you feel like that is the entirety of my conversation? Because I have talked about Hezbollah's actions in Syria, as a matter of fact, and I do have a problem with that.
You're precise with your words, right?
I don't think that harming civilians is in any way, shape, or form remotely correct. Now, having said that, I'm glad that you brought up Hezbollah, because again, in your video, you falsely claim that Hezbollah is responsible for 500,000 deaths in the Syrian conflict.
Yeah.
Okay? You say that Hezbollah is responsible for 500,000 deaths in the Syrian conflict. That is the entirety of the deaths, including the Hezbollah militancy in the Syrian civil war.
And therefore what? They did nothing wrong?
No. That's not what I'm saying.
So what does it matter the exact count? Why does that bother you?
You erroneously claim that they were responsible for all the...
Oh my god. It's like this segment here. Like 2 things by each side were said this entire time. It was talks, saying the exact same shit over and over. It's not getting anywhere.
The deaths. You stood in front
they collaborated.
of footage. You stood in front of footage of an entire town that was destroyed by what? By barrel bombs. Who has the capacity to have a air force and use barrel bombs to destroy an entire city? Do you think Hezbollah has an air force? They
participated. You're not listening. You're being silly.
Is that why you posted that photo?
Why are you defending Hezbollah's action in Syria? Do you think that's a good look?
I'm not defending that.
You sure are. You're like, Hezbollah didn't do that. Hezbollah would never blow up a village in Syria.
Do you think Hezbollah has an air force?
Do you think I think that?
Well, you implied it when you showed a hollowed-out town that was barrel bombed.
They worked
most likely
with
by Russian
the government,
forces.
bro.
So why did you use that imagery to imply that Hezbollah had killed 500,000 people?
They were complicit.
That is a false. This is my main problem with you, Ethan. You are spreading.
You're defending terrorism
falsehoods.
right now, by the way.
What?
You are defending a terrorism right now.
No, dude, I'm defending the truth. How is this so hard to comprehend for you?
The truth is Hezbollah did in Syria wasn't that bad?
They did not kill 500,000
Okay, so it wasn't that bad? So what Hezbollah did in Syria wasn't that bad? How many did they kill?
Assad regime. You are taking
You're minimizing their actions. How many did they kill?
You're taking the responsibility away from ISIS. You're taking the responsibility away from the Russian
No, I'm putting
military.
blame on Hezbollah where it belongs. How many did they kill?
I don't even know the exact number of how many they killed. I believe it's like around 2,000 to 5,000, which once again is inappropriate. I have no issue saying
Did they collaborate
that.
with Assad?
They did, yes. They did.
And so what is the issue here exactly? You said you have no issue with them. I think that's
so. I guess in a weird way, and Hasan supports Hezbollah, even though they're a terrorist group that's killed 2,000 to 5,000 people. Wouldn't that be just the same as when the doctor disrespect thing was happening? If somebody would have came out and been like, I don't agree with what he did, but yeah, I'm still going to play fucking Fortnite with him or whatever, right? Different scales, obviously, but basic outline, that's the same thing, isn't it? So, I mean,
I think I've described it numerous times at this point.
But also, then that would explain why, Hasan or iDubbbz made the content club, because they can do bad shit, but you can still be cool with them. Didn't affect them personally, so it's all grandstanding bullshit.
I have no issue with Hezbollah's militancy against a state that is conducting a genocide. That much is very clear.
You didn't say any of that. You said I do not have a...
Or I guess in theory there, you could argue, the lesser of two evils, maybe. Maybe that's where he's coming from. I don't really know, honestly. I do not.
Problem with
Hezbollah. I've
Hezbollah.
talked about,
You're lying.
as a matter of fact, there are plenty of instances where I have talked about Hezbollah's militancy in Syria.
When you're done lying, I'll explain.
Axis of... Wait, what?
When you're done lying, I'll explain. You didn't say
I'm
that.
Not...
You
what do
said
you mean I'm lying?
You said
I'm
I
telling
don't.
you
were
what my
talking
position
to a
is right
normie.
now.
You were talking to a normie who didn't understand anything about the conflict, and he said, "How do we feel about Hezbollah?" A general question. How do we feel about Hezbollah? Your answer was, I don't have a problem with them. Let's just say. And then, by the way, Hasan, you start trying to minimize their inclusion in this fucking wanton slaughter of Syrian civilians.
Wait, what? I'm minimizing their inclusion of the wanton slaughter of Syrian
Here's what you
civilians?
said, because you want to be
Dude,
precise.
You made up
like
the...
I like what you like.
Ethan, you
I don't have an issue
stupidly
with them, let's
said
just
that they
say.
killed 500,000 civilians. What are you talking about? I did not minimize their wanton slaughter in the Syrian civil war.
Do you think that they didn't participate with Assad to make that happen? I mean, they were allied. They participated. Okay, so then why are you defending them?
I'm not defending
sure
them,
sounds like
Ethan.
it.
I have already described to you that I am critical of their actions. You are misquoting me. You are misunderstanding.
I am verbatim repeating what you said, you
and I'm having a
liar.
conversation directly with you, so I don't understand.
How can
I'm
you
not
lie to
minimizing
people?
what you
Like
did.
we
I'm
just watched the
minimizing
clip.
The arbitrary number that you put there because you don't do enough research.
No, that number was based on the totality of deaths. My claim was that they participated in it. You were not critical of their actions in this clip.
Why did you put the so you're telling me you've never claimed that Hezbollah has killed more Muslims than Israel has, that IDF has?
I don't know when I think I did say that, and I think that was wrong. I was incorrect.
Yeah, you've said that numerous times. You actually said you ChatGPT'd against AB when AB was like, I don't think that's correct.
Yeah, by the way, I that's something I looked into, and I was actually wrong about that for sure.
Okay, don't you feel like this kind of misinformation is somewhat? Don't you think that saying stuff like that is going to make people infer that you might be more pro-Israel than you let on?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't work like this, right?
I genuinely don't know why I didn't do this to begin with.
Like, well, I said it was a genocide. What more do you want from me? Okay, you did. But then you spend all of your time criticizing
Responding to
people
harassment.
who are offering analysis and not justification, but analysis.
Can I flip it on you a little bit?
Actually formed. You're upset.
Hassan, you're doing it. You're doing it again.
I'm not doing anything. I'm
talking,
hoping
bro.
to explain to you something so you
It's
recognize
been
I'm
this
wrong.
whole time from both of you.
I understand your point.
Honest to God, it's what Hasan has actually been doing a lot the last, whatever, 45 minutes, half an hour, however fucking long it's been. Ethan's also been doing the same thing. They both have just been, as I'd said, going in circles over and over, the same thing, the same thing, the same thing. That's all that this has been. And for the most part, it's gotten nowhere. Very few times has one of them actually conceded or accepted or been like, oh yeah, okay, or anything. It's just been repeat, 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 okay, let's move on. Repeat, 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 okay, let's move on. It's fucking... This is mentally draining on a normal brain.
Don't you? So you're accusing me of being irresponsible with my words. Don't you think saying you have no issue with Hezbollah
Fucking
means
toxic
you're a
to
pro-terrorist?
my brain.
I don't care that people think this. It's ridiculous.
So are people valid for thinking you're pro-terrorist?
Do you believe the State
Answer.
Department's designation for
Answer the
terrorism is
question.
valid?
Is it reasonable for people to think that you are pro-terrorist when you say I have no problem with Hezbollah?
Do you believe the State Department's designation for terrorism is valid?
You answer my question, and I'll answer yours. Are people valid?
Ethan,
and
you rely heavily on your audience not really understanding the terms that you are using.
Let it be noted you are dodging.
When you say, "Oh, Hasan defends terrorism,"
See what I fucking mean? Literally what I just said.
okay,
literally
there's a reason why you say that. You say that to disparage me without actually addressing my arguments. And now when you're faced with me, face to face, to talk about these issues, you agree with me. So if you agree with me, you called Hezbollah a noble group. Should I just run around being like Ethan defends terrorism? Well, I think you do, but
I said their actions were noble. I didn't call them a noble group. Again, you have a problem with the truth.
You just said that their inception was a noble one.
Yeah.
You said Hezbollah was...
It's different from saying Hezbollah is a noble organization. But I really need you to answer this. Isn't it reasonable for people to assume you're pro-terrorist if you say stuff like, I have no problem with Hezbollah? Just answer the question. Yes or no?
Yes. There. Yes.
No. I don't think it's reasonable for people to assume that I'm pro-terrorism because I think people are going to assume that regardless because I am...
People can assume...
So then it is reasonable. Thank you. Next.
I'm Zionist, but it's okay for people to assume
Next.
shit. I have never once in my entire life, Hasan, experienced the amount of harassment, the organized, psychotic campaign to try to ruin my life, all of my...
I just want to point out, though, what Ethan just said. He's never experienced such harassment from a group of people. I know he means Hasan's fan base, community, whatever. Those are all people on the left. I'm just saying.
Stop. All my employees' life, my family's life, their family's life. This is your community acting responsible to what you're saying about me being pro-Zionist. So do I think it's worse? In my experience, it's much worse.
My community that's done any of these things that you're talking about.
Okay, Hasan, can I ask you a question? Why the fuck were you browsing H3 Snark the other day and pulling clips from that?
I don't know. Someone fucking sent me a clip in the chat.
Okay. And so you shit and pissed about me pulling a meme from Destiny's subreddit. I've never even pulled the subreddit up, but you're on stream browsing H3 Snark. How do you explain that?
Ethan, your entire subreddit is a snark subreddit dedicated to me. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's literally not true.
I don't have a single issue at this point. What are you talking about? You have personally moderated your own subreddit to turn into this, by the way. So many people that have criticized you from your own fan base have left your community for this reason.
Has nothing to do with
this. You can't take a fucking ounce of criticism from your paying members. How many people are like, I love Teddy Fresh. I have so many fucking pieces of Teddy Fresh clothing. Now I feel embarrassed to wear it because look at what he has become.
There's plenty of fans. Don't worry about that.
Problem. If you want to talk about it, from the perspective of psychoanalysis, the real reason why you've gone on this endless vendetta is because you can't comprehend
Jesus
the reality.
Christ, bro, I just want to have a conversation. I don't want to just dish out forever.
Cultivated has a difference in opinion in the way that you presented yourself throughout this conflict.
Please, let me just talk.
That's another thing Hasan will do. He just talks so fucking much. It's like, I think he does it as a tactic just to burn people out. They're just like, okay, you know what? I just want this to be over, you're right, or whatever. Just to guess, you know.
You say
If
your
you
community
demonstrated
has nothing to do
affection-
with the harassment that I've received.
Ethan, if you
Someone,
demonstrated-
please,
Ethan,
Hasan, let me finish a
listen to
point.
me. If you
Hey,
demonstrated
dude, you gotta let me finish a
infraction-
point. This
I'm
is
gonna mute
ridiculous.
you. I'm gonna mute you and just keep talking. if you
Okay,
keep
that's
doing
great. I think that means you won the debate.
this. Yeah, no, listen to me.
So I'm not
If you
muted. So
demonstrated a
hold on, let me
fraction of the
finish. You
humility-
gotta let me say something.
If you demonstrated a fraction of the humility you did just
You
now,
got
most people would
to
not
let
have left
me
your
say
community, by the
something.
way.
I don't care that they left the community. That was obvious.
You definitely do.
I've got plenty of fans left. Don't worry. Here, listen. You claim your community has nothing to do with the harassment. Yet you said in the same breath that your chat linked you to H3 Snarp, the subreddit primarily responsible for coordinating that harassment, and you pulled it up on your stream.
Do you have evidence that H3 Snark called CPS on you?
Did I say that?
Like random anonymous
Did I say
Redditors?
that?
Wait,
I said they're primarily responsible for harassing me.
Who called CPS?
What the fuck? So I don't know. Did I claim they did? You're dodging, bro. You are absolutely dodging. You claim your community has nothing to do with the harassment.
he
You were
is.
browsing H3 Snark. Now, let me ask you this, Hasan. How many times have I browsed the Destiny subreddit on my show?
Have blamed virtually everyone for calling CPS. Answer my question.
What?
So you don't know who called CPS, and yet for the past couple of months you've been like, it's whoever I
It's
don't
the
like that has called
fucking
CPS.
no.
And now you're claiming that my community is responsible for it.
I think it's the tone. No, bro, what is wrong with you? Did I say your community called CPS?
He didn't, but it's probably just from, again, my limited knowledge about either of these two and what they do or talk about now. I, just from an outsider looking in, I would probably lean toward it being someone, not Hasan himself, but one of either his fan base or one of his orbiters' fan base probably be where I'd bet my money. Probably. Not saying it is, but that's the way I would lean, knowing little to nothing about it for the most part. I don't even know what the fuck a snark is. I know Tony Stark. I don't even know if his name's Tony. I know Sark, and I know Tony Stark, but...
The harassment campaign is
You're
much more
inferring
broad
it,
than
yes,
that.
you're
Absolutely
inferring
not. You can't address an actual issue, so you turn it into you're straw manning basically. I'm saying your community
Bro,
is
Reddit-
responsible for this participating in this harassment campaign. You said chat sent you this link, did they not?
Yes, last week. What are you talking about?
Okay, so your chat is involved with H3 Snark, which, by the way, funnily enough, the new Snark page is called Leftovers H3, and it's got a picture of you in the
for giving
avatar.
a shout out. Shout out to Leftovers H3.
It's got a picture of you, Hasan. You don't need to shout him out. You're already doing it. Don't you think that's
Wait,
odd?
You did it.
No, I think it's.
Also, what do you think? Like, first of all, do you think I have any say on what fucking happens in these subreddits? What are you talking about?
Well, you have a say what
Bro,
happens.
imagine this dog's life.
That's also completely fucking
Well, why did
false.
you criticize XQC for not moderating his chat?
It's probably actually really good, but for a joke's sake, he has to listen to this shit every fucking day.
Used this community over the course of many years at this point, as he was, doing Gamba and wanted to fucking keep gambling and
You're not
felt bad that I was criticizing him to attack me. Okay, there's a difference
and
between
that's different
someone
than what
doing
you're.
that.
Why the fuck are we talking about XQC? Did I miss something? Genuinely. What the fuck is happening?
Community has done how?
What?
How is that different than your community attacking?
And they say TikTok's brain
You
rot?
want to know how it's
Fuck.
different? I have an 8-minute clip compilation all the way from when our podcast ended, all the way to December of 2024, where I actively defend you. That is moderating
bro,
my
I do not
community.
give a fuck about your quote-unquote defending as your community went rabid with your approval. Please spare me.
From when it ended to whatever date, 2024, I don't know how long of a distance that is, but if it's like a year, we'll just say, and you've got 8 minutes with as much as this guy streams. I'm not a math magician, but doesn't seem like a lot. Not that he even has to defend him at all. He doesn't have to be inclined to do so. I'm just saying. Might, depending on time frame, could be a weak standpoint or a weak, thing to stand on in some eyes.
With my approval, I just told you.
It's your community, bro. You literally say in this clip that it's. Let me play this clip for you because it will show just what a liar
people
hypocrite you
don't
are.
fucking like you, big dog. I don't know what to do.
Oh, they love you, huh?
What do you want me to do?
Fucking everybody loves Hasan. Everybody loves iDubbbz too.
Ethan,
My
people don't
objective is
like
not to be
you. I
liked,
can't
Hasan.
make
That
them
might
like
surprise you. It might surprise you. My objective in life is not to be liked. Or I mean, it's not to specifically be liked. That is not my objective. I know that's foreign to you.
Then why? Why are you bringing any of this up? People don't like you. I can't change that. Okay? There's plenty of people who don't like me either.
My whole career's been people not liking me, but I've never experienced this level of harassment. You are unwilling to contend or concede at any point that you are.
Because I'm not responsible for it. Here, play this video, Dan. Here you go.
Anyway, it's not about being liked either. It's about harassment,
Here,
bro.
Go ahead. Show your audience because you've been saying that I've been like
Yeah.
leading a
I'm
harassment
waiting
campaign.
for it. I'm waiting for it.
I sent it.
Are you?
It's embarrassing
sorry, hold
too,
on.
especially
Dan is
the
in
way you behave now. Ugh.
Dan is in the bathroom, so.
Oh. Oh shit.
You okay?
My argument with you in that conversation where I said there's not anything I can do was literally because of the way you were.
What they need to do, Or what they should have done is like every 45 minutes to an hour of this shit, pause for 5 minutes and just talk to each other. But, you know, probably a chunk of their fan base, you know, just eats that shit up. Rah, 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 fucking get him, Ethan, you're so right. Rah, 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 get him, Ethan, you're so right. Rah.
Presenting yourself. In the conversation that we had, you inferred that JVP was akin to capos. You said that from the river to sea Palestine will be free
I'm not
is
gonna let you
actually an
stump me with
extermination
again another
slogan that
pathetic
terrifies
fucking
Jewish
lie.
people.
Holy shit.
You literally fucking posted about a pro-Palestinian dude on Twitter saying that he'd be thrown off of roofs like fucking Hamas is ISIS. If you say all of that, if you walk like a duck, walks like a duck, most people are going to not think that you're a chicken. They're going to think you're a duck.
Okay, I'm not going to get stunlocked by these insane accusations. I called them capos. That's what you said. That's part of the harassment campaign. You put those words in my mouth, and now it's something that I still hear. I have never called them capos.
Wait. So you haven't, as recently as a month ago, still called them token Jews and that they are completely off base with the rest of the,
Is that the same as
the
capos?
movement.
Do you have a problem with like levels? It's all or nothing. Is calling someone criticizing someone to be a token the same as calling them capos?
Why would you call Jews who are standing against genocide, which you also recognize as a genocide,
Can I play this? This is
token
the clip.
Jews?
Here's
They
what
are
you
not
said.
representative of the broader movement.
Well, they're statistically
You also
not.
called Matt Lieb a capo.
Matt Lieb's a disgusting human being who platformed Bad Empanada, who's like you.
So you do have a problem. You do have a problem with
Matt Lieb specifically,
Jews
yes.
that you don't like, and you are quick
I have
to
a
call them
problem with Matt
capos.
Lieb, who's platforming Bad Empanada. Yes, clearly. Is there? You don't like Bad Empanada. You understand? A year ago, you were talking about how crazy he was.
But I'm not.
But suddenly, when he
here's
starts
the
talking about me,
difference.
he's your
Here's
best
the
friend.
difference.
Interesting.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I think Bad Empanada is insane. But you know what I also
And all of a
always
sudden,
say?
you love his videos. Why is that?
If they both fucking hate this Bad and Panda guy, he's probably alright, to be fair.
Bad Empanada.
Why do you love his
I've
videos suddenly?
position,
Before you pledged never to watch his videos on stream. Why do you love them now?
Oh, because he did not want me reacting to his videos.
That is
Initially,
a insane, pathetic,
No,
bold-faced
that's
lie.
what it is. No, he said.
You literally told. Oh my god,
I
dude.
have.
Okay, first of all, let me play this clip of you criticizing XQC.
Okay, wait. You
No,
keep
no, that's what
you
you asked for it.
Actually,
Hold on, you asked for this. Here's what you said.
Because it's not something
oh my
you would
god,
ever
wait,
ask
I sent
for.
you a
And all
clip
these
of
other
content
content
creators
creators
actually,
watch.
whipping their communities when
Whipping
their
their
chat is
communities.
going fucking absolutely bananas.
Fucking Christ.
Over random dumb shit and bringing my name up for no fucking reason. That you were just allowing that shit to run rampant in your chat, and I thought that was fucked up. Ethan, I love you, but there's only so much I can do, especially as someone who thought we were fucking friends. I think that's a reasonable expectation for someone who you consider to be a friend.
The problem wasn't that he was so
Yeah, you have to show my clip now.
Hey, yo, what that game is in the background?
Okay,
Marvel
no,
Rivals?
Show my clip.
Sure.
Show my clip that I sent Dan.
Yeah, no problem. But there you go. I'm gonna pull it up for you. Oh yeah, TikTok. This is gonna be good. Ethan Klein debunked 7 minutes, bro. Hold on, I'm not gonna watch the 7 minute clip. What do you want me to watch?
7 minutes of it.
Okay, you think if I just play it from the beginning, they'll get the gist of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you'll get it.
All right.
And you can skip towards like the end too if you want, like towards the
By
middle.
the way, this has 1,000 likes, bro. Are you name searching yourself or what?
No, the person who made it sent it to me.
Oh, okay. Nice. I guess it's
You are wrong. Okay. Trust me. I don't think you know. I don't think you know many Zionists if you think Ethan is a mega Zionist. Not even close, dude.
How many fucking Dr. Peppers does this man drink in a short period of time?
The person who cries when a Palestinian child dies is not your enemy.
Look at him. It's sped up and look at how fucking...
I think the other
do you
forms
not
of settler
consider...
colonial
You repeat your... Please. But
What did I just do? Fuck.
use its definition without ever actually
You're
thinking
right.
about
Fuck
it. What do you
Let
mean?
me be more precise. Here's what you said.
Allah is a paramilitary organization.
Called them token Jews.
Oh, okay, here.
Off base.
Or nothing.
This was a lot of work just for...
All of a sudden, you...
Wait, you keep all these other content creators.
Watch him get up, how fucking slow he does, even when it's sped up.
Ethan Klein from the beginning, they'll get the gist of it.
Watch him.
And you can skip towards like the end too if you want, like towards the
By
middle.
the way, this has 1,000 likes, bro. Are you name searching yourself or what?
No, the person who made it sent it to me.
Oh, okay. Nice. I guess it's
What?
hard hitting.
Ethan is a mega Zionist. You are wrong. Okay. Trust me. I don't think you know.
Ooh, there he goes. Look at him.
Not even close. Time and time.
Funnily enough, that's still true.
Again, I've spoken.
I thought LA was on fire, not having floods,
A
bro.
Palestinian child dies is not your enemy. Okay. I've said these exact words over and over again.
The problem is that your community is obviously unhinged, and if you don't defend me, my community is going to get mad at you. It's definitely just an optics play, which, by the way, you never
Keep
stuck
playing.
to.
Shut up. Keep playing.
Let me guess. It's more videos of you defending me?
Keep playing.
Yes, he said that, Ethan.
I told people in this community and people everywhere that will listen to what I have to say that you have to choose who you are actually angry at. There are people who are so loud and so proud about the ethnic cleansing campaign the Palestinians are experiencing currently. Go yell at them. He's been shitting on you on his members-only streams. I don't care. I don't care. Bro literally shat on you yesterday and his coworker for saying from the river to the sea, sorry, dog. I don't care.
How's this defending him?
I watched a minute of it. I really don't give a fuck what you said.
Keep going.
No,
No.
why? It's 7 minutes
We watched
long,
a
bro.
lot of your
Spare
clips.
the
Keep going.
audience.
This is about you. Go on.
What are we gonna glean from watching longer?
Keep playing it. This is just November 1st.
Nah, I don't want to
Go to
finish
the
it.
middle.
I know what it is. You
Go
talk
to the
kindly
middle.
about. Okay, here I'll go to the middle for you. Okay.
You think I'm not moderating my fucking community?
You
think
absolutely
I'm
are
not trying
not.
to get people
No,
to stop yelling about you at that
okay,
point?
let me go to the middle so you can have your thing, and then we'll move on.
And it frustrates me to no fucking end. I've told you this time and time again in this time frame, just like I kept telling you, Ethan is not your enemy over and over again. That's why I love iDubbbz, Ethan as well, people that have actually changed course, recognize their mistakes.
Okay, I mean, yeah, we get the idea. It's fine. You know what I mean? You're the best friend ever. By the way,
whoa.
No, whoa.
I'm
My
never
turn.
Well, I was no, yes. Whoa,
you were
whoa,
just
whoa.
screaming, play the video.
You
told me to
just
shut
said I
up.
wasn't moderating my
Hold
community
the
and
phone.
claiming that
You screamed to shut up and play the video. So I'm going to ask you to return the favor at this moment. You claimed that
Okay,
you didn't
go
watch. Here's what you said about Bad Empanada. You lied to me and said you don't watch his videos because he asked you not to. Magically, when he started talking about me, you became his biggest fan, and you watch his videos on your stream regularly, which has resulted in an explosion of his popularity. Here's what you said about him a year before this conflict.
Banana video on
Next
the
shirt,
stream.
by the
I'm
way.
just letting you guys know. If you think I'm gonna fucking watch a YouTube essay from a dude literally openly antagonistic towards me watching fucking YouTube videos, you're out of your fucking mind, okay? You think I want him to write like 700 hours worth of new YouTube essays about how I have wronged him? I don't want that. I don't want that at all, okay?
Say genocide propaganda will come. Thanks for watching.
That's in the clip.
Free
Ethan, you
Palestine.
keep doing this thing.
Thanks for watching.
the clip.
Yeah, go support this.
I'm playing the clip. Just chill out.
I said I told you why I wasn't
appreciate,
watching that
regardless of
Oh
Empanada
my
all
videos
God,
the
initially.
Hasan,
with him.
you're talking.
Oh
over
my
the clip.
God. I can't. I'm gonna go fucking. Wow. Wow. That fried. How long did that take? Just over 2.5 hours to eat a dick. He's brain rotted. Yeah, no shit. That's probably on par. I gotta bathe my eyes with some fucking sunlight. It's raining, but goddamn. That took time off my life. Like, for real. I don't know what else to say. So, I think, yeah, no, I'm done. I'm done with that. I'll see you guys probably tonight if you were here. Thank you. I appreciate all of you that do watch, will watch the shorts, subscribe, all of that.